calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7. In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
The last elections of 2024. It's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Welcome back. Breaking news coming in at the moment. This is in regard to actor Siddique, who has gotten relief in a case that this is anticipatory bail that has been granted by the top court to the Malayalam actor. Huge relief coming about from the Supreme Court, granting that anticipatory bail to the actor who's been accused in an alleged rape case. We're talking about a rape case against him based on allegations that had been leveled by a young actor. So it is the Malayalam actor who has gotten gotten relief in the case. This is the Supreme Court there hearing that bail plea today and has granted bail to the Malayalam actor. The Apex Court has granted that anticipatory bail to the actor who's accused in a rape case. It is Siddique who had denied allegations against him. From what his defense has argued, that the special investigation team fabricated accusations not mentioned by the complainant. The actor further claimed that the police are orchestrating a media trial against the actor. It was in August. The police had charged the actor this was a complaint that was filed against the actor of a sexual assault. There was a young actor who had complained of a sexual assault that had taken place at a hotel in Thiruvananthapuram back in 2016. So the Kerala High Court had rejected his anticipatory bail plea, which had come about in the month of September this year, citing the seriousness of the charges and need for custodial interrogation. However, the Supreme Court had granted him protection from an arrest on the 30th of September. Now, of course, the special investigation team had formed to probe that case against him, and they had questioned him twice on the 7th of October and the 12th of October. And because he had refused to cooperate during that investigation, that he was then finally, there was a very big case, a case of several against high-profile figures in Malayalam film industry that had emerged after Justice Hima's committee report. In other news, the United States is urging Bangladesh to end its violent crackdowns. The United States has said that it does not support the government's involvement in violent crackdowns when it comes to peaceful protesters. This statement follows a recent clash between the members of the Hindu community and the law enforcement forces in Bangladesh, triggered by a Facebook post. Now, the United States has gone on to say that we support right to peaceful protest. This is a statement that's come about after those clashes that have been reported. And the United States has also gone on to say that no government should engage in violent crackdowns and they must support the right to peaceful protests.
I'm not going to speak to private diplomatic engagements from here, but we have made clear to the government of Bangladesh, as we made clear to countries all around the world, that we support the right to peaceful protest and that in no way should any government engage in violent crackdowns on peaceful protests.
And to get more on this, we have Major Reza, retired researcher and analyst, joining us from Dhaka. Thank you so much for speaking with us here on NDTV. This is not really the first time. When we talk about a crackdown as far as protesters are concerned, this continues to be the case in Bangladesh. We saw this earlier under Sheikh Hasina's rule. And now that she has gone under the new regime, nothing seems to have changed on the ground. At a time when even the United States is echoing the same sentiment, saying that, it is Bangladesh that needs to uphold the human rights law.
You're right. In Bangladesh, thank you and thanks the viewers. Actually, the current situation is in Bangladesh. You know that we are passing a very quite toughest time. The reason is just recently we have we had a revolution by the student and there was a huge protest and a lot of incidents took place before 5th August. And after 5th August, again, the government, interim government is facing a lot of challenges. So one of the challenges is coming from the Hindu community. So actually, you need to know one thing, that they have 8 demands by the Hindu community, and also there are 2 other religions, Hindu, Christian and Buddhist. So all 3 have become united and they are putting some demands. Now the point is that as they are putting this demand, why they have not done it before last 15 years? Why it's now? So the interim government already, they have taken into their consideration about they are claiming about the tortures and looting by different
right.
So,
Major Raza, just hold that thought. We'll just come back to you. Let's cut across to the Environment Minister of Delhi, Gopal Rai, who's speaking on the pollution issue.
के साथ ऑनलाइन मीटिंग लंबी गुहार के बाद अक्टूबर में बुलाई गई। मैंने उसमें भी उन लोगों से अपील की कि प्लीज समय दे दीजिए, एक मीटिंग बुला लीजिए। नहीं बुलाई गई। आज फिर आप सब जानते हैं कि आज दिल्ली की स्थिति, पूरे उत्तर भारत की स्थिति क्या है, लोगों को किस संकट से गुजरना पड़ रहा है। एक मेडिकल इमरजेंसी की स्थिति पैदा हुई है और उसमें जितने साइंटिस्ट से हमने बात की है कि जो ये लेयर है, ये जो स्मॉग की चादर है, अगर ये जब तक नहीं टूटती है, इसका दो ही उपाय है, या तो इतनी तेज हवा चले कि उस स्मॉग की चादर को तोड़ दे, या फिर दुनिया के अंदर बहुत सारे जगहों पर जो एक्सपेरिमेंट हुआ है कि या तो पानी आर्टिफिशियल रेन के द्वारा उस लेयर को तोड़ा जा सकता है या फिर नेचुरल बारिश हो जाए। ऐसे में बहुत ही दुख के साथ हमें कहना पड़ रहा है कि आज भारत में एक ऐसी सरकार भारतीय जनता पार्टी की केंद्र में बैठी है जो उत्तर भारत को, आधा हिस्सा देश का प्रदूषण की मार को झेल रहा है। उस सरकार के पर्यावरण मंत्री को अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर और आज 19 नवंबर है, लगातार अपील करने के बावजूद भी, चिट्ठियां लिखने के बावजूद भी, लगातार प्रयास करने के बावजूद भी एक मीटिंग बुलाने की फुर्सत नहीं है। आर्टिफिशियल रेन होगी नहीं होगी, कैसे होगी, यह निर्णय तो अभी मीटिंग के बाद तय होगा। परमिशन केंद्र सरकार देगी या नहीं देगी, यह भी मीटिंग के बाद तय होगा। लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री के पास एक बैठक बुलाने की फुर्सत नहीं है, या जानबूझ करके नहीं बुलाई जा रही है, यह समझ के परे है। शायद हमने विदेश में भी किसी दूसरे देश के मंत्री से भी इतना अगर रिक्वेस्ट की होती तो वो भी मीटिंग बुला लेते। लेकिन हमारे देश की केंद्र की भाजपा सरकार के मंत्री के पास एक मीटिंग बुलाने का समय नहीं है। मीटिंग छोड़ो, 4 चिट्ठियां मैंने आपको दिखाई हैं। इन चिट्ठियों का आज तक जवाब भी नहीं आया कि वो मीटिंग बुलाएंगे भी कि नहीं बुलाएंगे। ये है भारतीय जनता पार्टी की लापरवाही। मैं आज निवेदन करना चाहता हूं और देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से भी कहना चाहता हूं कि हस्तक्षेप करिए। देश आपके हवाले है, पूरा आधा देश परेशान है इस इमरजेंसी, मेडिकल इमरजेंसी से। अपने मंत्री साहब को बोलिए कि एक मीटिंग तो बुलाएं, और अगर नहीं मीटिंग बुलाना चाहते हैं तो ये जो पूरे चादर छाई हुई है उत्तर भारत में, इसका समाधान निकालें। उनके पास अगर कोई और समाधान है तो उसका समाधान निकाल करके हमें इमरजेंसी मेडिकल से मुक्ति चाहिए, इस प्रदूषण के संकट से मुक्ति चाहिए। अगर मोदी जी के पास, मोदी जी की सरकार के पास, केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री के पास अगर कोई और समाधान है तो हमें समाधान चाहिए, और कोई और समाधान नहीं है उनके पास तो आर्टिफिशियल रेन के लिए इमरजेंसी मीटिंग तुरंत बुलाई जाए। और प्रधानमंत्री जी से मेरा निवेदन है कि तुरंत उनको डायरेक्शंस दें, वो जिस भी काम में व्यस्त हों, लेकिन उनको डायरेक्शंस दें कि इमरजेंसी मीटिंग बुलाई जाए और तुरंत इस पर कार्रवाई किया जाए और पूरे उत्तर भारत के लोगों के सामने जो संकट है उससे जो है लोगों को मुक्ति दिलाई जाए। थैंक यू। कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो ले लीजिए।
सर, जब तक कृत्रिम बारिश की आप बात कर रहे हैं, कुछ और मेजर्स हैं जिनको आपको लगता नहीं उठाने की जरूरत है? जैसे वर्क फ्रॉम होम की बात की, उससे पहले आप लोगों ने ही ये प्लान किया था कि हेलीकॉप्टर के जरिए दिल्ली में अलग अलग जगह पानी का छिड़काव किया जाए। इन तरीके के जो उपाय हैं उन पर अब विचार क्यों नहीं हो रहा?
नहीं, अभी जैसे हम तो लगातार काम कर रहे हैं। पहली चीज, जो व्हीकल पोल्यूशन को टारगेट करके BS3 की पेट्रोल गाड़ी 4 व्हीलर बंद हमने कर दी है। BS4 की डीजल गाड़ी, प्राइवेट जो गाड़ियां हैं उस पर बैन लग गया है। छोटे जितने वाहन हैं, माल वाहक हैं, उस पर सब पे प्रतिबंध लग गया है। बाहर से जो ट्रक आते हैं उन पे सब पे प्रतिबंध लगा दिया है। बाहर से जितने डीजल की बसें ये भेज रहे थे उस पे सब पे प्रतिबंध लगा दिया है। तो उस पे लगातार हम काम कर रहे हैं। जहां तक स्कूल की छुट्टी की बात थी 10वीं और 12वीं की, उसको भी स्कूल को बंद कर दिया गया है। तीसरा जो समय था ऑफिसेज का, उसको स्टेगर कर दिया गया है। जहां तक आपने वर्क फ्रॉम होम की बात की है उस पर भी हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, उस पर भी सरकार उस पर बात कर रही है, उस पर जल्दी निर्णय लेंगे, उसको भी हम लागू करेंगे। हमारे हाथ में जो जो चीजें हैं उन सारी चीजों पे हम काम कर रहे हैं और आगे भी हम इस काम को करेंगे। लेकिन जो अभी स्थिति बनी है, जितना हमने एक्सपर्ट से बात की है, ये चादर अगर नहीं हटती है, ये जो कोहरे की चादर से जो स्मॉग चारों तरफ से छाया है, इसको तोड़ना पड़ेगा। ये अगर नहीं टूटता है तो दो चीजें हैं। एक है हम रिड्यूस कर रहे हैं चीजों को, हमने शटल बस सेवा शुरू की है, हमने जो है मेट्रो के फेरे बढ़ाए, तो हम इन सारे चीजों को काम कर रहे हैं। जो जो जरूरी और भी सुझाव आ रहे हैं उस पर भी हम विचार कर रहे हैं, उस पर भी हम निर्णय लेंगे। लेकिन ये सारी गतिविधियां सोर्सेस को रिड्यूस कर सकती हैं, स्मॉग के जो स्मॉग है, चादर है, उसको तोड़ नहीं सकती। मैंने जितने एक्सपर्ट से अभी बात की है कल से, दो ही रास्ता है, या तो तेज हवा चल जाए तो ये स्मॉग टूटेगा, और या फिर बारिश से ये टूटेगा। इसलिए हम ये फोकस कर रहे हैं कि इस स्मॉग को तोड़ा जाए, क्योंकि स्मॉग नहीं टूटेगा तो अभी क्या हुआ है कि जो पोल्यूशन के कण हैं स्मॉग में मिल गए, मिक्स हो गए, इस चादर में वो मिक्स हो गए। हम सोर्सेज तो रिड्यूस कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वो ऐसे मिक्सिंग हो चुकी है कि उसको तोड़े बगैर आप जो अभी जो पोल्यूशन की स्थिति है, इसको आप डिस्पर्स नहीं कर सकते। तो इसलिए हम फोकस कर रहे हैं, और इसलिए आज हम इमरजेंसी मीटिंग की मांग कर रहे हैं कि नीचे के स्तर पे तो हम सारी कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं। मैं ये भी निवेदन करना चाहता हूं कि पूरे नॉर्थ इंडिया में, खास तौर से एनसीआर में भी इन सारी चीजों को इंप्लीमेंट किया जाए, क्योंकि वहां से बार बार खबरें आ रही हैं कि ग्रैब के नियम की धज्जियां सरेआम उड़ाई जा रही हैं। ग्राउंड जो फील्डिंग वर्क है उसको भी नहीं किया जा रहा है। मैं भाजपा की सरकारों से भी कहना चाहता हूं कि इसको इंप्लीमेंट करिए, लेकिन अभी जो चादर है स्मॉग की, इसे तोड़ना अभी सबसे जरूरी है। और इसलिए आज हम केंद्र सरकार से ये मांग कर रहे हैं कि इसके लिए इमरजेंसी मीटिंग बुलाई जाए, और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी भी इसमें तुरंत हस्तक्षेप करें, क्योंकि ये पूरे उत्तर भारत की समस्या बन चुकी है, और ये देश के प्रधानमंत्री की नैतिक जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि ऐसे मेडिकल इमरजेंसी में पूरी केंद्र सरकार सक्रियता से काम करे, और केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री जी अपना मौन व्रत तोड़ें और तुरंत मीटिंग बुला करके जो भी जरूरी परमिशंस हैं उनको दे करके इसको जो है दिल्ली के अंदर लागू किया जाए।
We just heard the Environment Minister saying that there is no improvement as far as the situation is concerned. Talking about the mixing that's taken place as far as the pollutants, there is no way out. He's in fact suggested artificial rain, something that he's spoken about very often. He's asking for an emergency meeting with the centre in order to approve artificial rain. He says the only other alternative is to wait on the weather factors to improve. I'm looking at the forecast. There is no rain as far as the next 7 days is concerned. So of course there, Gopal Rai is saying that artificial rain is the only solution to this problem in order to break through from the thick blanket of smog that Delhi is under. Let's just also, let's go back to our guest, Major Reza, who is joining us in regard to the situation in Bangladesh, with the United States there taking a stand when it comes to peaceful protest, saying that, there is a right as far as peaceful protest is concerned, and that the United States is not supporting the right of the government that they are trying to exercise against these violent crackdowns. Your reaction?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, there is a story behind this violent crackdown. Basically, just after 5th August in Bangladesh, there are a lot of community, they are taking chances. Basically, in Bangladesh, in every religion, not only Hindu religion, in Muslim and Hindu, both this religion, sometimes the political opportunists, they are taking chances behind these religious activities. So exactly happening with our Hindu community. So our Hindu community, basically, they are putting some demands, that is 8 demands. All these 8 demands is definitely relevant for them, but these demands were not put before last 15 years, where the Awami government was mostly in favor of the Hindu community, as we have seen before. And that is surprising that the Awami government, as they were quite favorable towards them, they are very positive towards them. In their time, they have not put all these 8 demands. Now they are putting these all 8 demands at this interim government period. But you need to know that interim government cannot do everything if they even want. Why? Because for approving all these demands, most of the demands, you need a political or democratic government. Once a democratic government comes in power, that time in the parliament, they can pass the law, and accordingly they can take action. So out of all these 8 demands, of the first demand, they claim that they are being tortured. Against that, already Bangladesh law enforcing agency, they have taken a lot of actions, and already the government is taking action, and government is very serious in this concern. But again, we need also support from India. Now the question may come, how India can cooperate us. The reason is that for Muslims, the biggest pilgrimages in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. For Hindu, the biggest pilgrimages is in India. So if India states anything that actually impact on our Hindu religion community, because our Hindu community, they are mostly relying on Indian government, and there are any statement coming from India. So if India give positive statements for our Hindu community, that will influence their sentiment, their religious sentiment. And at the same time, Bangladesh government also seek help, cooperation from India. Our country to country or state to state relation is getting impacted because of these religious or religion issues. So if we want to close this issue, Bangladesh cannot alone close this chapter. India must come ahead for cooperating our interim government, and also our interim government or Inu's government, they must seek cooperation from India. Their any statement should be very concise, and that must be very positive. Their statement must not be quite hostile or antagonistic towards India. So I will urge our Bangladesh government to show their positive gesture towards India. And again, India should show their positive, cooperative, and their very accommodative gesture towards Bangladesh. They should also speak few words for our Hindu community. Thereby, they stop this radicalism. Any kind of extremism or radicalism should be avoided, should be neglected, and we should not give any chances for any radicalism or any extremism.
Right.
It may be either Hindu or maybe Muslim, but we need to have a very cooperative attitude towards each other. And in Bangladesh, especially our Muslim community, they need to be very much patient, and they need to be very much cooperative towards our Hindu community, and also our Hindu community, they need to be very much acceptable, especially they need to show their positive gestures towards our Muslim community,
Absolutely.
more friendly. And
Right.
if we become suspicious against each other, thereby we cannot be good friends.
Right.
And
Thank you so
about
much.
the incident of
Yes,
India,
of course, Major Reza, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insights into this crackdown that seems to be continuing on protesters in this country of Bangladesh, something we'd seen earlier with Sheikh Hasina, and that seems to continue under the new regime as well. And let's just get you more news. This is on the sidelines of the G20 summit. It is the Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar who has met with his Chinese counterpart. The External Affairs Minister met with Chinese Foreign Minister on the sidelines of the summit in Rio de Janeiro. It marked their first meeting since India and China signed the border disengagement deal last month. And it is both the leaders who noted the progress as far as the recent disengagement is concerned and discussed the next steps in strengthening their bilateral ties. They also talked about the global situations. They discussed the disengagement along the India-China border, among other issues. And staying with international news, it is the UK Prime Minister who has announced that the UK-India trade talks will relaunch in the new year following a bilateral meeting that's taken place on the sidelines of the G20 summit. And after this meeting with Prime Minister Modi on Monday, it is the UK Prime Minister who's gone on to say a new trade deal will support jobs and prosperity in the United Kingdom. While Prime Minister Modi has announced the establishment of 2 new Consulate General of India in the United Kingdom. We're talking about Belfast as well as Manchester. And with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. News and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro.
world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
India's most advanced communications satellite was successfully lifted off into space by Elon Musk's SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, which lifted off from Florida in the United States.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
A $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
We reached an agreement on petroling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
This week on India Ascends. All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan. Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution? All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
Corruption. 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 Corruption.
आज आमचा अजेंडा आहे नेशन फर्स्ट.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत. मग का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con. NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7. In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news.
And it is the Competition Commission of India that has slapped a penalty of over 200 crore rupees on social media giant Meta over its privacy policy update on WhatsApp in 2021. Deshmukh attacked in Maharashtra. This was in Nagpur. The attack that took place on his vehicle during campaigning for his son on the last day of campaigning. He is demanding an EC probe. That is what the NCP of the Sharad Pawar faction is saying. And the police will be has gone ahead and filed a case of attempt to murder. He will be recording his statement today. And Andhra Pradesh scraps the two-child norm. This is the Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly that's done away with that rule that candidates having more than 2 children are ineligible to contest the elections for local bodies. 15 people have been arrested in the Gujarat ragging death case. These are 15 people after the death of a first-year student who was made to stand for 3 hours in Gujarat's medical college. And Delhi continues to choke amid a political blame game. It is Gopal Rai who is suggesting artificial rain as the only solution given the fact that there's no rain that's expected. He has said that the skies will not clear up unless or until it starts to rain. Well, he is asking the centre for an emergency call demanding artificial rain. And Canadians flying to India to face more scrutiny as Canada enhances its security screening for passengers, particularly flying to India. A very good afternoon. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vatwa. Let's get you our top story, and that is the CCI that slapped a penalty on social media giant Meta to the tune of over 200 crore rupees for its unfair practice by sharing the data of its users. Well, this is the allegation that has been leveled against Meta, the giant that owns Instagram as well as Facebook. Well, as well as WhatsApp. Now, the Meta giant has gone ahead and disagreed with the order of the CCI. They've also gone on to say that they'll be challenging that very order. We have my colleague Vishal joining us to get us more on this. Vishal, take us through what has really happened in terms of the kind of data that was shared by Meta, and this is, of course, after their WhatsApp privacy setting was updated back in 2021.
That is correct. So this is one of the various cases that have been leveled against many big tech companies across the world. India has also leveled many cases. EU in particular has been filing a lot of cases against many big tech companies such as Meta, as you mentioned, and this is one of the cases. If you compare it with the fines that have been given to companies from the EU, this is a small fine. This is just 213 crore. This is pocket change for Meta. But even then, it's a big statement coming from the CCI, which has filed a few cases in the last 1 or 2 years for Meta, and also a few cases about Google. So it remains to be seen how Meta will take this forward. It has responded officially to few news organizations and said that it will give a bigger response, but it remains to be seen what kind of response that would be, and all of that will also culminate into a big tech showdown versus many regulators across the world. There's also a report coming in that says that the US Department of Justice is ready to file a case against Google. It wants to split Google Chrome from Google. So that is also another case about tech regulation. So these things have been happening the last 2 or 3 years, and it remains to be seen what these big tech companies are supposed to do.
Right, thank you so much, Vishal, for getting us all those details. To get more on this, we have with us Virag joining us, Virag Gupta, advocate and cyber law expert with us in order take us through, the laws that are in place when it comes to violation of information of users using social media platforms.
The genesis of this whole controversy goes back to 2014 when Meta acquired the WhatsApp. And in 2016, they started integrating data of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And at that time, it was challenged before Supreme Court and High Court. And that matter is still pending. And in 2021, when they came with the new policy, so CCI has taken the suo motu cognizance, and in that matter, they have imposed penalty up to 37 crore rupees. And against these proceedings, they have already gone before the High Court and Supreme Court, but Supreme Court and High Court said that no, these are the separate proceedings and you have to follow these. Now, by this order, there are two aspects. One aspect is penalty, in which they can go to the court and ask for some stay. And second is their directions for the WhatsApp, that what they need to do for the next 5 years to stop the targeted advertising. So I think that this is a very, very important order, and they have to update the privacy policy also, so that users are knowing that in what manner and in what respect their data is being shared by WhatsApp with their group companies.
Right, of course, WhatsApp users were given that option back in 2016 if they really want to have their data shared or not. But, that is something that, Meta had gone ahead and changed by the time they upgraded their privacy situation, their privacy law by this was in 2021. WhatsApp made the data sharing with Meta mandatory for all users, removing their earlier option to opt out. So, it is up to you if you want to use that particular social media site or not, given the fact that it is not leaving you with any choice whatsoever.
No, there are two aspects. This defense was taken by the Meta before the Competition Commission, and that was not considered because in European Union, they have given the different choice because their GDPR is enforced, and by that data protection is totally effective. And in India, our data protection law is has been passed by the parliament, but we have not enforced the rules. So that is the problem. So CCI has not taken the cognizance of this defense by them, and European Union has started the investigation in 2014. And after that, in those proceedings, European Union has imposed the penalty of some 110 million. So these tech giants are violating so many laws, and globally they are facing a lot of challenges. So this is one aspect. And if we go into detail of this whole order, so there are many aspects. The first aspect is sharing of the user's data. Second aspect is wrong claim that their whole message is encrypted, because there are many metadata which are not encrypted and they are being shared. And third is targeted advertisement. And fourth most important thing is that since 2016, Meta is sharing the data with the group companies, and that is not allowed. Why should they be allowed? Why should they not be charged with some GST and other taxes on the data shared by the group companies?
Right, the charge against Meta is about its unfair ways of doing business, about misusing its dominant position. Take us through how does this stop Meta from, from other companies getting in touch with, say, users that are particularly using just WhatsApp services, Facebook and Instagram services? How is it, causing that wall and barrier from other companies getting in touch with these users?
This will certainly have impact on the other companies. Directly, it is not, because this order will be applicable only to the Meta and the WhatsApp. But we have to consider three aspects. The first is that India's biggest market for Meta means there are three group companies: Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. So it will certainly impact operations of Meta in India. Secondly, we will have a parity with the global standards. What are the standards of the data protection in USA and European Union? Same should be enforced. Our courts have to consider, because this matter is pending before the High Court and Supreme Court long back. So court have to take the early decision so that there is a pressure on and there is awareness also in the public about their data safety. And third thing is defense of the Meta, that they are saying that there is option with the user is incorrect, because since 2016 they are sharing the data, and I don't think that any of the users are aware or they have choice not that their data is not shared by the group companies.
Right. Of course, what is really being said by Meta is that their policy is very clear, take it or leave it. But it is, of course, what CCI has gone on to say, that it wasn't really leaving the users with a choice. They had no choice but to comply. I mean, if I'm using a social media site, I know what their rules and regulations are. Why do I not have a choice to opt out?
No, that this aspect has been discussed in detail in the reasoned order passed by the CCI, because CCI was investigating the whole matter since 2021, and they have taken this matter suo motu cognizance. And these all defenses in the CCI order have been clearly said that their defense is not good, and they are using, once they are saying that either use it or leave it, it means they are using the dominant position, and that dominant position they are using to use it for the OTT platforms also, for the digital advertising also. And on one reasoning of the CCI, I don't agree, wherein they have only passed the order for the 5 years, so that WhatsApp is not using the data for the targeted advertising. My understanding is, and we have taken this matter before the High Court, Delhi High Court in 2012, long back. And we have said that these companies cannot share the users' data with other group companies, or they cannot sell the data for the other thing. And for any such sale or for transfer of data in India, they must clearly disclose in their privacy policy and in their public platform, so that on number one, users should know that their data is shared. Number two, government should stop that. And number three, on all such transactions and data sharing, government should recover the taxes from those companies.
Right. Thank you so much, Virag Gupta, for clearing all those doubts as far as the CCI penalty that they have leveled against the social media giant Meta that owns Facebook, Instagram, as well as WhatsApp. Moving on now to more news. This is in regard to the death of the 18-year-old medical student in Gujarat. He died in a suspected ragging case at that medical college during his first year. This is, now 15 people have been arrested. We're talking about 15 students who have been held. All the 15 were also suspended by the medical college following a report from its anti-ragging committee. So action is being taken. Do remember that he was allegedly made to stand for 3 hours at a stretch, which resulted in his death. So allegations were being made by the people. Now this is, from what we're hearing now, that there are 15 people who have now been, who are being questioned on regard to what was allegedly he was allegedly made to stand for 3 hours during the ragging that took place by seniors at his hostel, after which the poor 15-year-old, the poor student, medical student in his first year, died. Switching tracks now from Gujarat to Andhra Pradesh, and the government there has done away with the rule that candidates having more than 2 children, that, making them ineligible to contest the elections for local bodies. Putting an end to that 30-year-old policy, two children policy was introduced in Andhra Pradesh in 1994 by passing the AP Panchayat Raj Amendment Bill 2024 and the AP Municipal Laws Amendment Bill as well. So 30 years ago, in May of 1994, the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh Assembly had passed this amendment bill that made two-child norm mandatory for those seeking elections in local bodies. Now, this meant that those with more than children, as far as the number of children they have, they would get disqualified if they had more than 2 children, or would be ineligible to contest those local body posts. This was meant to keep a check as far as the population is concerned. Now, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has been advocating that after the earlier successful implementation of family planning, it is now time to incentivize women and families to have more children. So this is the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister who was heard saying that his government is planning to bring about a law, in fact, that would allow only people with 2 or more children to contest local body elections. So now that move that has come about, breaking the pattern that's been followed, a policy that's been in place for the last 30 years since 1994. The Chief Minister there urging families to consider having more children, expressing concerns over the state's aging population and its long-term impact on the country's demographic. This is the demographic balance of the state of Andhra Pradesh. So this is what the Chief Minister had gone on to say, and now you can see amends that are being made with having more children. That is the incentive, and that is the message that is being put out by the Chief Minister. This is after the Andhra Pradesh government has gone ahead and passed that law to remove 2 children norm for local body elections. So this was the Congress-led government that had imposed the 2-child norm by amending the Andhra Pradesh Panchayat Raj Act. This was something that has now changed under the leadership of N. Chandrababu Naidu. He has decided to do away with that norm in view of the changing socio-economic necessities and the balance of the population, taking into consideration the falling total fertility rate in the state. We have Uma joining us. Uma, take us through this huge change that's coming about. A policy that's been in place for 30 years has now finally been done away with.
Yes, indeed. Andhra Pradesh, rather the erstwhile state of Andhra Pradesh, had in fact implemented family planning in a very aggressive manner, almost should I say, and that's the reason why the total fertility rate had fallen by half, and it is now below the replacement rate. Replacement rate is considered the number 2, meaning every couple has about 2 children, whereas the average now is about 1.6, which means it has fallen less than the replacement rate, and therefore Chandrababu Naidu, who was an advocate of allowing only those people to contest the local body elections who had 2 children or less, is now reverse the policy. It's a 180-degree turn that the government has taken to incentivize child population growth. In fact, the number of youngsters or the population of people below 15 has fallen quite dramatically, and that's the reason why Chandrababu Naidu in the recent past as well has said that we need to increase the population, and he told women that he wants them to be producing more children and that he would incentivize it. And as part of the same move, the AP Municipal Corporation and the AP Panchayat Raj Act, both of them have been amended. Rather, the amendment which was earlier done has been now done away with to ensure that those who have more than 2 children also can participate in the democratic process and participate in the elections as well. So while one is the demographic dividend that Chandrababu Naidu has been speaking about and the economic imperative of having more youth, because we have an aging population not just in Andhra Pradesh but in the south of the country, which implemented family planning very aggressively. The same debate also came up, for instance, when the 16th Finance Commission was there yesterday in Tamil Nadu, and the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin, spoke about the population as a criteria that they must revert to the 1971 and ensure that its weightage becomes, as in 1971 is the basis for the census, and that it could be then even up to 20% weightage. So population being an economic strength for any state is one thing, and the second thing is even the resources that are being divided by the central devolutions are happening on the basis of population, and therefore the southern states or the states that have implemented family planning have been seeing this as a disadvantage, and that's another reason why Chandrababu Naidu has advocated that there should be more number of children, and now removing that earlier rule which did not allow anyone with more than 2 children to be eligible for contesting the local body elections as members. Back to you.
Right, Uma, of course, quite a U-turn there, because he has advocated for pollution, for population control in the past, and now, you know, he's making a U-turn there, talking about how there's a need as far as the state is concerned to increase the birth rate for the future. He's talking about the growth rate in the state that needs to increase.
Yes, indeed. See, U-turn is something that is very justified because the Chief Minister is changing his stance with the time. That was a time when we were talking about huge population creating a pressure on the resources in terms of the availability for schools, the resources in terms of the food grain, the natural resources, all of that. And at that time, the the TFR or the total fertility rate was about 3.7. We are talking about 1992. And at that time, when the policy of the government was to have lesser number of children, and it had advocated the 2-family norm, that's when Chandrababu Naidu, not Chandrababu Naidu actually, in 1994 May is when this the AP Panchayat Raj and AP Municipal Act were amended, and this norm was brought in saying that those people who have more than 2 children will not be allowed to participate in the local democratic process. And Chandrababu Naidu at that time had spoken about in the 90s when he was the Chief Minister, after winning the elections, he used to speak about the fact that family planning is an imperative so that we can give better education, health status for the children. But now the cycle has turned, and the TFR, the total fertility rate, is now less than 2, which means we will have an aging population, and you will not have the youngsters in the numbers that would be required to be able to reap a demographic dividend. And that's the reason why Chandrababu Naidu has, changed with the times. When we say it's a 180-degree change for Andhra Pradesh, we are talking about evolving with time and seeing this as a demographic dividend, is why Chandrababu Naidu is now advocating that he's thinking of policies that will incentivize women to have more children, families to have more children, and it is in line with the same policy that this amendment has now been brought in the Andhra Pradesh Assembly. Back to you.
Right, thank you so much, Uma, for getting us all those details. And now switching track to the national capital. No respite in sight. That is what Gopal Rai, the Environment Minister, has gone on to say. He's asking for an emergency meeting with the centre, demanding that the only solution to this problem is if the weather conditions change. He's saying that rain is the only solution to this problem, and considering that it's not going to be raining anytime soon, he's talking about artificial rain being the solution. So he is asking for an emergency meeting. As far as the centre is concerned, this is what the Aam Aadmi Party is proposing, that is the solution to this thick layer of smog that continues to engulf the national capital region. He's saying that even though they have reduced the pollutants from the ground level, but there's nothing really that they can do about the skies, and there needs to be an intervention, and that intervention can only come in the form of rain, and that is why he's proposing artificial rain, something that the Environment Minister has spoken about frequently in the past as well. So let's just listen in to what my colleague Shreya has to say as in regard to the data that's coming in today, the kind of measures that are in place in order to tackle the situation by the government, and of course the BJP there attacking the government for its inaction, going on distributing masks for the second day. That's what the BJP is doing. They've even taken to the streets in protest.
I'm right now at the construction site of Dwarka underpass. We know Dwarka sector 8 is one of the pollution hotspots in the national capital. You can see right here the construction work is going on despite the graded response action plan stage 4 implementation, where there is complete ban on all sorts of construction as well as demolition activities. But here the laborers are of the opinion that they haven't been instructed or given any circular stating a ban on the construction एक्टिविटी. सर आप मुझे बताइए कि ये अभी क्रेन चल रहा है, काम चल रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है फुल टाइम, राइट?
नहीं चल रहा है काम, तो मैनुअली काम चल रहा है, क्रेन से कुछ नहीं चल रहा है.
और मैनुअली तो काम तो चलाना भी होगा, क्योंकि नहीं तो इन लोग को पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे।
हाँ, पैसे नहीं मिले। बंगाल से, यूपी से, जो भी झारखंड से, जो भी चारों ओर से लेबर आए हैं सब, इसीलिए चल रहा है काम। वो मैनुअली चल रहा है मैडम, ऐसे नहीं चल रहा है।
और सर हर साल हम देखते हैं कि पोल्यूशन के वजह से कंस्ट्रक्शन बंद कर देते हैं, उसके वजह से जो लेबरर्स आते हैं, आप जैसे बोल रहे हो बंगाल से, बिहार से, तो उन लोग को पैसा कौन देता है?
मैडम ठेकेदार देता है, कंपनी देती है पैसा। जो 1-2 दिन 3 दिन बैठते हैं उनका देता है, कंपनी देती है।
कॉम्पेंसेशन मिल जाता है?
हाँ देती है मैडम, 8 घंटे की जो भी आता है दिहाड़ी वो देती है कंपनी।
बट अभी जैसे हम देख सकते हैं पूरा ऐसे स्मॉग आ गया है, पोल्यूशन लेवल बढ़ता ही जा रहा है, कोई इधर मास्क नहीं पहना है, काम भी चल रहा है। आपको नहीं लगता ये लोगों पे बुरा असर हो रहा है?
ये तो गलत है महम, मगर कोई अभी थोड़ा ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं दे रहा है, मगर अब ध्यान देगा अभी।
और सर कंपनी से कुछ ऐसे सर्कुलर ऐसा कुछ आया है कि काम बंद कर?
हाँ, कंपनी बोली है कि बंद कर दो। कंपनी से आदेश आया है कि काम बंद कर देना है। मगर हम लोग लेबर लाए हैं, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं, तो काम चलाना पड़ेगा। उन लोगों को कैसे पैसा दिया जाएगा, कहाँ से दिया जाएगा?
ये सर क्या बन रहा है एग्जैक्टली?
ये द्वारिका एक्सप्रेसवे बन रहा है अंडरपास से मैम।
कब से बन रहा है
ये? मैडम हमारे ख्याल से 2019 की 20 से बन रहा है।
हमें लगता है कि अब वो समय आ गया है कि दिल्ली के अंदर इस स्मॉग की चादर को तोड़ने के लिए, दिल्ली के लोगों को प्रदूषण से मुक्त कराने के लिए आर्टिफिशियल रेन कराई जाए। इसके लिए आज मैं फिर भारतीय जनता पार्टी की केंद्र सरकार में पर्यावरण मंत्री माननीय भूपेंद्र यादव जी को चिट्ठी लिख रहा हूं कि तुरंत केंद्र सरकार इमरजेंसी मीटिंग कॉल करे। फिर हमने केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री और माननीय केंद्रीय कृषि मंत्री जी के साथ ऑनलाइन मीटिंग लंबी गुहार के बाद अक्टूबर में बुलाई गई। मैंने उसमें भी उन लोगों से अपील की कि प्लीज समय दे दीजिए, एक मीटिंग बुला लीजिए। नहीं बुलाई गई।
तो दिल्ली सरकार है वो लगातार सेंट्रल पर ब्लेम कर रही है, कह रही है वो जॉइंट एक्शन प्लान लेके नहीं आई।
दिल्ली में सांसों का आपातकाल है। वो जो सेंटर को ब्लेम कर रहे हैं उनसे पूछना चाहिए कि आज पराली का, आज 19 तारीख है, कल पराली का स्कोर क्या था? जो सरकारी आंकड़े हैं, अकेले पंजाब में 1251 घटनाएं रजिस्टर्ड हुई हैं। और क्या कारण है? यूपी में 133 और हरियाणा में 38 थी। तो कौन दोषी है उसका? लेकिन पंजाब की वो बात नहीं करेंगी। अपने नकारेपन, अपने निकम्मेपन को छुपाने के लिए अरविंद केजरीवाल और आतिशी मार लेना, दूसरी इधर उधर की बातें करती हैं। ये तो दिल्ली को इस हालत में लाने का जिम्मेदार अरविंद केजरीवाल है, उनकी सरकार है, जिन्होंने दिल्ली में सड़कों की मरम्मत नहीं की, गड्ढे नहीं भरे, जिसकी वजह से धूल के कारण दिल्ली में और सफाई व्यवस्था ना होने के कारण दिल्ली की हालत है।
सर मेरा आखिरी सवाल ये है कि ग्रेडेड रिस्पांस एक्शन प्लान का जो चौथा स्टेज है वो अब लागू हो गया है, लेकिन फिर भी लगातार देख रहे हैं कि AQI और खराब ही होते जा रहा है। सरकार को क्या कहना?
मैं फिर कह रहा हूँ कि अगर आपने 10 साल में मेजरमेंट लिए होते, अगर आपने 10 साल काम किए थे, तो आज आपको ये झूठ नहीं बोलना पड़ता। दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल के सरकार का नकारापन है, जिसकी वजह से ये खामियाजा दिल्ली की जनता भुगत रही है। और ये मास्क जो है, ये मास्क आने वाले समय में दिल्ली वालों के लिए चेतावनी है। अगर इस भ्रष्ट सरकार को यहाँ से नहीं हटाया तो हर दिल्ली वाले को ये मास्क पहनने पड़ेंगे।
Passing the blame on to each other, and it was Atishi, the Chief Minister, has got to say that the centre has not even come forward to tackle the pollution problem. Gopal Rai pointing fingers, saying that the centre hasn't paid heed to their requests, and the centre has not even called for a meeting. Of course, the BJP taking action against the inaction of the Aam Aadmi Party by holding a protest. Let's also talk about not just the Delhi NCR region. We're talking about pollution that has been seen and reported in parts of Maharashtra. Smoggy skies have been reported, and that is the worry as far as the state is concerned, with a smog cloak that we're seeing not just here in Delhi and adjoining areas, but this is the situation on the ground in Maharashtra as well. And that is because of a stubble burning, which is a major cause of smog. Smog from stubble burning in the adjoining state of Madhya Pradesh is clogging up the skies in Maharashtra as well.
We showed in the beginning of this program the fires in other states too. Yes, there are fires in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. But looking at the winds, you know, Delhi is mostly affected by the fires in Haryana and Punjab. Since the fires in Haryana are very less this year, so it's mostly Punjab. The fires in MP, they are already affecting the air quality in Maharashtra and in Mumbai. Because I heard from some of my sources today morning in Mumbai, the air quality is very bad. It's not because of the local, I think, local sources of pollution in Mumbai, but that's because of the farm fires in Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh.
And let's just switch tracks to Himachal Pradesh's government that's failing to clear its dues when it comes to power, and which is why the High Court in the national capital has allowed the sale of Himachal Bhavan here in the Mandi House. This is the action that is being taken. Well, the BJP is saying that it is Congress's poor policies that have been exposed. It is under the Congress-driven government that failed to pay dues, which were to the tune of 64 crore rupees. But because now interest has been added to that amount, the total amount is now coming to 150 crore rupees. Those are the dues on grounds of illicity, and which is why the power department has gone ahead and attached the property of the Himachal Bhavan here in the national capital.
सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हाई कोर्ट का फैसला 13 जनवरी 2023 को आया और उसके बावजूद भी सरकार जो है वो गंभीरता से इसको नहीं ले रही है। ये जो सेली प्रोजेक्ट का अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम का जो पैसा 64 करोड़ रुपए देने के लिए आदेश हुए थे, मुझे लगता है कि जो हिमाचल प्रदेश की सरकार सारे विषयों को बहुत गंभीरता से नहीं ले रही है। ऐसी स्थिति हिमाचल प्रदेश की आज से पहले कभी नहीं आई। पहली बात, कोर्ट के मामलों को भी सरकार गंभीरता से नहीं ले रही है और एक के बाद एक फैसले जो हिमाचल प्रदेश में जो हो रहे हैं, जिसके कारण सरकार की फजीहत होती जा रही है।
कोई बड़ा नहीं है, लेकिन अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम जो है वो एक पॉलिसी के तहत है और एक पॉलिसी के तहत 2006 में जब ऊर्जा नीति बनी थी तो उसमें उस ऊर्जा नीति में मैं भी मेन आर्किटेक्ट था, मैडम स्टोक्स उस समय ऊर्जा मिनिस्टर थे। तो अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम ये था कि कोई भी पावर प्रोजेक्ट लग जाए, लगे या ना लगे, उस पॉलिसी में क्लियर है। हमने एक रिजर्व प्राइस पर मेगावाट जैसे 10 लाख रिजर्व प्राइस रखा था, उस अपफ्रंट के मामले में आर्बिट्रेशन से कोई फैसला आया, उसके खिलाफ हाई कोर्ट हमारी सरकार गई और सरकार ने उसमें जो 64 करोड़ रुपए आर्बिट्रेशन का था वो जमा कराना था। उसके बारे में मैंने अभी जानकारी प्राप्त की है।
And to get more on this, in fact, we have Gurpreet joining us. Gurpreet, Delhi's Himachal Bhavan may be auctioned. That is what we're hearing is facing the potential auction over unpaid dues of the government. Of course, this was a Congress-led government. Take us through the kind of notice stand that they were given, because the interest in itself has almost doubled the amount that was due, as far as the government is concerned. Before such a drastic step has been taken, how much time were they given?
Well, yes, it's a big jolt to Himachal Pradesh Congress government, and we have seen for the last so many months of financial crunch are being faced by the Himachal Pradesh government, and now we have seen a huge amount which the Himachal Pradesh government was not able to pay to the power company from where they had got all the project which was being implemented in Himachal Pradesh. Now it seems it has become one of the major issue in the state of Himachal Pradesh, because they were unable to pay that amount which they are supposed to pay to the power company. Now the court has already given a clear-cut direction saying that Himachal Bhavan, which is located, which is one of the prime property of Himachal government, that is in New Delhi, that has been attached, so that the money which they are supposed to pay to the company, that should be recovered from there. We have seen this has become one of the major political issue in the state of Himachal Pradesh. We have seen the opposition leader and the former chief minister of Himachal Pradesh, Jairam Thakur, he has already condemned and criticized. He says the government even did not pay any heed to such a serious issue against the government. At the same time, we have seen the Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh, Sukhwinder Singh Thakur, Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu, he has already said he is going through the this court order, and after that they will discuss with all the senior leaders as well as the senior officers, so that they will be able to come out of this crisis. Because of that, the court had given a very clear-cut order to attach the property of Himachal Pradesh Pradesh government, which is in Delhi, that is Himachal Pradesh, Himachal Bhavan, that is already located in national capital. So let's see how the government will be able to grapple with this problem. We have seen for the last so many months the financial crunch is one of the major issue in the state of Himachal Pradesh, and now this also seems the way they don't have the financial situation well in the state, it might be possible that was one of the reasons why they hadn't paid this much amount to the power company. So as of now, what we can understand, the Chief Minister says they are going through the order, and after that they are trying to find out and chalk out the strategy how they are going to pay this amount. Now it is yet to be seen how the court is going to take further action, but the court has clearly said also there is need to go for the fact-finding inquiry to find out why there was the lapses and which were the employees who did not even pay to pay this much amount to the company. So let's see how the things will be going on, how the things will be revolving around this Himachal Pradesh financial crisis, and it is one of the main issue which is being even discussed at all the political platforms. Back to studio.
Right, Gurpreet, 64 crore rupees of unpaid dues by the Himachal Pradesh government, that has more than doubled with the interest that has been levelled against the state. Let's just switch tracks now to getting you more news coming in, and this is in regard to Maharashtra and the attack that took place during the last day of campaigning in Maharashtra on Anil Deshmukh. Do remember that he was travelling in a car while campaigning for his son. He was attacked, his car was attacked, and he was injured in the process. Now the police has gone ahead and filed a case of attempt to murder. It is the NCP of the Sharad Pawar faction that is asking for the EC, the Election Commission, to probe the incident. A thorough probe is being demanded. Let's just listen in to what is being said by Sanjay Raut, who is attacking the Mahayuti for the complete lawlessness in the state.
महाराष्ट्र की कानून व्यवस्था, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर पूरी तरह से खत्म हो गई। इस राज्य में चुनाव में इस प्रकार की भयंकर हिंसा कभी नहीं हुई थी। देवेंद्र फडणवीस विद्यमान गृह मंत्री है, उनके शहर में महाराष्ट्र के पूर्व गृह मंत्री अनिल देशमुख के ऊपर उनको मारने की साजिश, उनकी हत्या करने की साजिश और उनको जिस तरह से हमला किया, आपने देखा उसका वीडियो, पूरा सर टूट गया, फूट गया। कौन जिम्मेदार है? चुनाव आयोग के हाथ में पूरे सूत्र रहते हैं ना, तो सबसे पहले चुनाव आयोग जिम्मेदार है, जो महाराष्ट्र की हालत खराब हो गई है।
Attempt to murder case has been filed by the police, and we have Radhika joining us. Radhika, it is Anil Deshmukh who will be recording his statement today.
That's right. Anil Deshmukh will be recording his statement. We know for a fact that an FIR has been registered against unidentified people on charges of attempt to murder. This incident happening last evening when Deshmukh was returning from a Katol constituency where he was campaigning for his son Salil Deshmukh, who was a contestant there. When his car was attacked, he sustained head injuries. He was immediately hospitalized, but he also reacted as soon as he was injured, saying that BJP could be behind this. Of course, BJP has rubbished these allegations, and also some of the leaders from the BJP calling this a political stunt as well. But NCP Sharad Pawar faction and MVA in particular have reacted very strongly to the attack that happened. In fact, Supriya Sule also reacting, saying that this questions the law and order situation as far as Nagpur and whole of Maharashtra is concerned. Law and order situation in the state has in fact collapsed under the current regime is something NCP SP has reiterated, also calling for a thorough probe from the state government and also asking Election Commission to look into it. So who these perpetrators are still unclear at this point. Are they related to any political party and what could be the motive is a matter of investigation. There is a possibility that a press conference could be taken by Nagpur police perhaps in the evening, but the attack on Anil Deshmukh, a tall leader from Maharashtra, former Home Minister, has definitely snowballed into a political controversy with NCP Sharad Pawar faction not really taking this lightly, also calling for strict action and thorough probe as far as this entire case is concerned, and also sort of showing concerns as far as the law and order situation in the state is concerned, which they call has completely collapsed under the BJP's regime. So we'll have to see how it plays out as elections are, of course, happening tomorrow in the state.
Right, all eyes on the poll-bound state of Maharashtra. But let's just switch tracks to breaking news coming in at the moment. And the row over music award in Tamil Nadu is considered a big order by the Madras High Court that is restricting the granting of the award. This is from presenting that award in the name of M.S. Subbalakshmi to the musician T.M. Krishna. We have Sam Daniel joining us. Sam, on what grounds has this decision been taken?
Well, Divya, the Music Academy for quite some time has been honoring musicians with this Sangeet Kalanidhi award in the name of legendary musician M.S. Subbalakshmi. And for this year, it had chosen T.M. Krishna to be given in December during the music festival season. M.S. Subbalakshmi's grandson Srinivasan had moved the court saying that in her will, M.S. Subbalakshmi has clearly mentioned that there should be nothing started or awarded in honor of her name. And citing that, he had asked the court not to allow Music Academy to give this award to T.M. Krishna. He had also cited a few remarks made by T.M. Krishna, trivializing, as he calls it, the legendary singer, which T.M. Krishna has denied, saying that it has been taken out of context. And it's in this context, the Madras High Court has ruled that the award can be given to T.M. Krishna, but it should not be in the name of M.S. Subbalakshmi. That's the only condition. And earlier this year, a few well-known Carnatic artists too had questioned Music Academy's choice of this award to T.M. Krishna, since he's being seen taking revolutionary steps, something that didn't go well with traditional Carnatic musicians, something T.M. Krishna has explained that the larger context in which he made those remarks and his position. And the Music Academy itself has said it's not given by itself, but they form a committee, and it's on the basis of their recommendation this award is being given, sponsored by the Hindu publication. Divya.
Right. Thank you so much, Sam Daniel, for getting us all those details. And like Sam mentioned, that the award and the cash prize can be granted to T.M. Krishna, but not in the name of M.S. Subbalakshmi. Switching tracks now to more news, and this is in regard to the unemployment rate. So the urban unemployment rate has declined to 6.4%. There's been a sharp decline, especially when it comes to women unemployment. We're talking about from 6.4% is the current rate of unemployment in the last quarter, July to September, which is definitely a huge welcome change from the 6.6% that we saw in the previous quarter. My colleague Sakshi has the details.
What is a positive indicator for India's economy, the urban unemployment rate in the September quarter has declined to a fresh low of 6.4%. This is due to a sharper dip in unemployment rate for women according to the quarterly periodic labour force survey. The unemployment rate for young women has declined at a faster pace than the rate for young men during the quarter as per the study conducted. And interesting to note here that the share of self-employed men have declined while the share of self-employed women has risen as per this survey. The share of salaried workers has also increased to 49.4%, while the share of casual workers has declined to 10.7% during the quarter. While traditionally economists have considered salaried employment as a better form of employment, remember we are living in an era of entrepreneurship and enhanced startup culture that is driving India's economic momentum and is now reflective in such surveys as well.
Thank you so much, Sakshi, for getting us that good news as far as rise in salaried workers is concerned. We're talking about, women empowerment with women employment going up, as Sakshi mentioned. With that, we're slipping a short break. Back with a whole lot more.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
have been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
The last elections of 2024. It's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Can the big brother BJP manage the competing ambitions of Mahayuti? Can the Red Book rally the voters once again for Congress and its allies?
So as Maharashtra's future trajectory takes shape, we report from the ground.
Two visions, two ideology, one verdict. An election where no caste chemistry can yield a perfect formula.
It's a state that is splintered with power battles. The big question, will Maharashtra poll outcome unify parties or divide them further? And who will emerge as Maharashtra's undisputed leader?
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. #1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made us
Anand, who's gone on to say that out of an abundance of caution, her ministry will be increasing security measures for people traveling from Canada to India. The minister said in a statement that passengers may experience some screening delays while these measures are in place. So talking about the kind of measures that they're taking at the moment, this is applicable and subjected to passengers who will be flying out of Canada, particularly to India. They're being asked to report to the airport 4 hours in advance, 4 hours prior to their departure. So this is an official statement that's come about because they've gone on to say among the screening conducted as far as the screening at the airport is concerned, they have gone on to say that they are now keeping in consideration that they would require extra amount of time for screening passengers who will be going to India. This is a temporary move that is being made by the government of Canada, adding to the woes of the travellers. And do remember, this is the festive season that we're stepping into. The wedding season is upon us, and of course Christmas and New Year holidays are going to come about, and which is when a lot of people travel back home to their families, and a lot of Indians settled in Canada. So this is going to impact all those passengers who will have to wait at the airport for 4 hours, and that is because the screening time has been increased by the authorities in Canada. So the passengers flying to India from Canada are going to be subjected to this enhanced security measures, and that's going to be a temporary measure. But you know, it is coming about. Of course, we're questioning the timing of this, given the fact that this is the time when people travel the most. This is the busiest time for travelers, especially coming out of the US or Canada, particularly during the holiday season. They come back home on that long holiday. We have Ghazali joining us to get us more on this. Ghazali, people are going to be asked to reach the airport 4 hours in advance. Isn't that a bit too much?
See, the transport minister there has not given any specific reason that why this has been done, but what we are being told that perhaps there were some threats also by SFJ, the Seek for Justice, that group which is banned in India, and they had sort of shared the details of flights coming from India to Canada, but that had nothing to do with the Canadian Airlines or the Canadian airport. Why this has been done, there has been no official word about the reason why this is being done, but as you rightly pointed out, that the transport minister just said due to abundance caution, citing that as a reason. And now we see that how relations between India and Canada has taken a hit, and perhaps the analysts or the Canada watchers say that this is going to be an outcome of that situation, that developing situation of the diplomatic relations between India and Canada, that Indian passengers or those moving or flying out to India will have to report to the airlines or at the airport 4 hours prior to the departure. Why this has been done, no specific reason has been given, but if you see the reports in the last 1 month, there has been specific threats to India-bound airlines, but those airlines which are going from India to Canada and not from Canada to India.
Well, this might be a temporary measure. Passengers from Canada to India will be subjected to those delays due to that extra screening that we're talking about. They have, it's particularly the Indian travelers or people traveling to India. But this is not applicable to those flying into Canada from India, Ghazali.
Yes, certainly. Those who are flying from India to Canada won't have to go through such routine or extended inspection there. But it is just for those who are flying out from Canada to India. So at the Canadian airports, anybody who's flying to India through any of these airlines, Air Canada and other airlines are also complying by these rules, and the passengers have been notified that they have to reach at the airport 4 hours before the departure, and then they will perhaps go through intense checking there.
Right, Ghazali, of course, these measures in place just at a time when India and the relations with Canada have taken quite a hit, like you were mentioning, and singling out people traveling to India, asking them to report 4 hours before their departure seems a very, very stretched out, even in terms of extra screening that is going to be taking place at the airports in Canada. Thank you so much, Ghazali, for joining us. Now, let's get you a very special report. In July of last year, the Harpic School Sanitation Program had launched 2,000 schools across Odisha. They had been using pop-up storybooks and do-it-yourself kits in order to teach the students hygiene. It has impacted 9 lakh lives, creating young ambassadors to a healthier future. Take a look at this very special report.
In the fight against infectious diseases, proper sanitation stands as our first line of defense. At its heart are toilets, silent guardians that safeguard clean water and protect community health. Now, when we educate children about sanitation early, we're not just protecting their health, we're nurturing ambassadors who carry these vital practices into their homes and communities. The Harpic School Sanitation Program has been making a difference since July 1st, 2023, reaching 2,000 schools across 10 districts of Orissa.
आमर गोटे टीचर्स ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम कराइला आउ प्रधान शिक्षयित्री हिसाब से मुई भी सेन जाइली जोग देइली सेन आमको सुंदर भाव में ट्रेनिंग दियाला आमे माने पायखानार व्यवहार केनता करी हेबा आमे चप्पल व्यवहार करा हाथ धुआर सब जाक से आमको ट्रेनिंग देले जेनटा कि आमे नै करी आसला परे मुई स्कूल रे मोर सहकर्मी मानको आउ आमर छात्र छात्री मानको से ट्रेनिंग देली आ से दिन ठारू आमर छात्र छात्री माने भी आमर पायखानार व्यवहार सुंदर भाव में करुचन चप्पल पिंधि कर जाऊन 20 सेकेंड हाथ धोचन
मु जो व्यक्तिगत भाव अनेक विद्यालय को जाइए मॉनिटरिंग करिया देखी यही स्थान मानक जो स्थान मानक पूर्व आम देखुलू कौन प्रकार ये डिसइनफेक्टेंट जिनस रखा जाऊ नाला एवं किंतु जगह दे दिया किट्रु आउ से निजे तरफ एगुड़िक रेगुलर व्यवहार कर निश्चित रूप पिला पाखे गोटे सचेतनता सृष्टि होती
The toilet's presence alone isn't enough. Proper maintenance breathes life into these facilities. The program employs creative tools to make this learning engaging and memorable. From enchanting pop-up storybooks featuring lovable Muppets like KK Kitanu and Neela Jadugar to hands-on 3D DIY kits designed specifically for young minds. Interactive demonstrations bring lessons to life, while visual aids from vibrant wall art to eye-catching posters, banners and standees reinforce these crucial messages.
आम विद्यालय रे स्वच्छता विषय रे शिखा हेउची खेलना माध्यम रे बही माध्यम रे शिखा हेउची गला बेले चप्पल पिंधि की जीवु स्वच्छता कला करी सारिला परे पानी ढालिबु आसिला बेले हाथ धोइबु आम परे जेउ पिलाटी जीव तापाय स्वच्छता रखिबु.
The program impact 300,000 children directly engaged in target schools, 600,000 children reached through peer education in neighboring communities, total impact 900,000 young lives transformed. While World Toilet Day spotlights crucial issues annually, the Harpic School Sanitation Program works tirelessly every day, planting seeds of change through proper toilet usage and hand washing habits. It's more than education. It's a movement towards a cleaner, healthier future, nurturing habits that will protect generations to come.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
The Competition Commission of India has slapped a penalty of 213 crore rupees on social media giant Meta. And Anil Deshmukh, who was attacked yesterday in the pull-down state of Maharashtra, will be releasing a statement. The police has gone ahead and filed a case of attempt to murder. Andhra Pradesh scraps the two-child norm for contesting local body polls. They've done away with the rule that carried on for 30 years. 15 arrested in Gujarat. This is the ragging death case in which 15 students have now been questioned in regard to the death of the first-year student who was made to stand for 3 hours.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए,
in the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj and let's take a look at the top stories that we're tracking here at this hour. Madras High Court restrains a grant of award to Carnatic musician T.M. Krishna, says award can't be given in Subbulakshmi's name. Order after Subbulakshmi's grandson objects. The grandson says Krishna has criticized Subbulakshmi many times. However, the Carnatic musician denies allegations. Delhi chokes amid political blame game. BJP now blames Aam Aadmi Party for Delhi's deteriorating health crisis and air quality. Delhi government demands artificial rain from centre for relief. The Andhra Pradesh Legislative Assembly has done away with the rule that candidates having more than 2 children are ineligible to contest by polls. 15 accused arrested in the ragging case after the death of a first-year student who was made to stand for 3 hours in Gujarat's Dharpur Medical College. The Competition Commission of India slaps a penalty of Rs 213 crore on social media giant Meta over WhatsApp privacy policy users. Meta to challenge CCI's penalty. And Canadians flying to India will now face more scrutiny. Canada enhances security screening for passengers flying to India. Now, in a big order from the Madras High Court, it has restrained the grant of award to Carnatic musician T.M. Krishna. Now, court says that award cannot be given to T.M. Krishna in Subbulakshmi's name. Order has come after Subbulakshmi's grandson objected to the award being given to the Carnatic musician, whom he says has criticized Subbulakshmi many times. My colleague Sam Daniel is joining me for more on this. Sam, take us through the contentions and the issues that were raised by Subbulakshmi's grandson over this award being given to T.M. Krishna. We'll try and reconnect the line with Sam Daniel. The Madras High Court has restrained the Hindu from presenting the Sangeeta Kalanidhi Award in the name of M.S. Subbulakshmi to musician T.M. Krishna. The court said that the Sangeeta Kalanidhi Award and cash prize can be granted to T.M. Krishna but not in the name of M.S. Subbulakshmi. The court was hearing a plea moved by Subbulakshmi's grandson Srinivasan challenging an award conferred on Krishna in her name. Srinivasan's main contention was that the award cannot be given to someone who had constantly criticized his grandmother. He pointed out various instances of Krishna's apparent criticism of Subbulakshmi. My colleague Sam Daniel is joining me. Sam, take us through various charges that were leveled by Subbulakshmi's grandson Srinivasan while moving this plea in the court.
Aditi, it was largely on technical and legal grounds. Initially, they alleged that T.M. Krishna had made comments trivializing the achievements of the late legendary singer M.S. Subbulakshmi. But this particular order comes on the basis of her citing a will written by M.S. Subbulakshmi herself, in which she has clearly said that there shall be no institution of anything in her honor, which could include awards or any foundations in her name. It's on that basis the Madras High Court has today ruled that the Music Academy in Chennai can give the award to T.M. Krishna, but it cannot be in the name of M.S. Subbulakshmi. The award itself is called the Sangeet Kalanidhi Award in the name of M.S. Subbulakshmi, and it's in this context the court has said no in her name. But T.M. Krishna has denied these allegations, saying that his comments have been taken out of context. Earlier this year also, soon after the Music Academy had announced the choice of its candidate for this particular award this year to be given during the music season in December, a few renowned Carnatic artists had raised objection and had even said they would never perform again at the Music Academy. And the Music Academy, in a response, had said this award, he was chosen on the basis of a recommendation by an exclusive committee constituted for this purpose. And it's in this context we have to see this. But many also point out that Srinivasan, the grandson of M.S. Subbulakshmi, has not raised similar objections for, there are many other institutions or awards in the name of M.S. Subbulakshmi, and he has been quite selective, hinting that it's in a specific reference to T.M. Krishna, this objection has been legally presented, and now the court has given this particular order not to give any award in the name of Subbulakshmi.
Right.
Aditi.
Sam, the anger against Krishna, stems from his woke anti-Brahmanism views as well. His political views have also time and again, caused controversies and also have shown how divided the Carnatic music industry is. How do you see this new controversy also harming the reputation of T.M. Krishna?
Well, T.M. Krishna is always known for his what many would call as progressive, revolutionary ideas, breaking the barrier of Carnatic music to be for one particular community or one particular sect. And he has been trying non-stop to take this to the society at large. For instance, he performs with the Fisherfolk community and many such sessions like that. And it does not go well in that sense with the hardcore traditional Carnatic musicians who see him as a rebel of sorts in that sense. And it's in that context when the Madras Music Academy had chosen him for this Sangeet Kalanidhi Award in the name of M.S. Subbulakshmi, seen as the highest award by this particular body in Chennai. Many could not accept that, and they had openly opposed the choice and questioned the idea behind awarding him with this kind of an honor. And the Hindu publication sponsors this, and they also had said they have no role in the choice of the awardee. Whoever Madras Music Academy chooses, automatically it goes in the name of Hindu. And the court has made it very clear. The award to T.M. Krishna is fine, but only that it should not be given the name of M.S. Subbulakshmi. We are still looking for a response from T.M. Krishna himself, but so far we haven't been able to reach out to him.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for joining us with those details. And now national capital continues to battle the poor air quality that it is breathing in. The national capital today recorded air quality index recorded above 400. That has been the same scene till yesterday. Yesterday was the worst one. AQI had hit severe plus category for the first time in the season. All schools have shifted to online mode in the NCR. Universities like Jamia Millia, JNU, they have also started online classes, and these classes will continue till November 23. But while you and I struggle to breathe and fight for your right for clean air, political blame game continues. The BJP is protesting against Delhi government. It is distributing masks and questioning the chief minister, saying why are no measures taken in prior to what was supposed to happen, and is the picture same every year? However, the Delhi Chief Minister Atishi says other NCR states must impose GRAP rules so that the picture in NCR can become better. Atishi said that centre should come forward and take measures to tackle pollution. Even Gopal Rai, the Delhi Environment Minister, has demanded artificial rains from the centre, saying the centre must step up its role and its responsibility and call a meeting with all the stakeholders and find a permanent solution to this problem. Sample the political reactions coming in.
I'm right now at the construction site of Dwarka underpass. We know Dwarka Sector 8 is one of the pollution hotspots in the national capital. You can see right here the construction work is going on despite the Graded Response Action Plan Stage 4 implementation, where there is complete ban on all sorts of construction as well as demolition activities. But here the laborers are of the opinion that they haven't been instructed or given any circular stating a ban on the construction एक्टिविटी. सर आप मुझे बताइए कि ये अभी क्रेन चल रहा है, काम चल रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है फुल टाइम, राइट?
नहीं चल रहा है, काम तो मैनुअली काम चल रहा है, क्रेन से कुछ नहीं चल रहा है.
और मैनुअली तो काम तो चलाना भी होगा, क्योंकि नहीं तो इन लोगों को पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे.
हाँ, पैसे नहीं मिले. बंगाल से, यूपी से, जो भी झारखंड से, जो भी चारों ओर से लेबर आए हैं सब, इसीलिए चल रहा है काम. वो मैनुअली चल रहा है मैडम, ऐसे नहीं चल रहा है.
और सर हर साल हम देखते हैं कि पोल्यूशन के वजह से कंस्ट्रक्शन बंद कर देते हैं. उसके वजह से जो लेबरर्स आते हैं, आप जैसे बोल रहे हो बंगाल से, बिहार से, तो उन लोग को पैसा कौन देता है?
मैडम ठेकेदार देता है, कंपनी देती है पैसा. जो 1-2 दिन 3 दिन बैठते हैं उनका देता है, कंपनी देती है.
कॉम्पेंसेशन मिल जाता है?
हाँ देती है मैडम. 8 घंटे की जो भी आता है दिहाड़ी वो देती है कंपनी.
बट अभी जैसे हम देख सकते हैं पूरा ऐसे स्मॉग आ गया है, पोल्यूशन लेवल बढ़ता ही जा रहा है, कोई इधर मास्क नहीं पहना है, काम भी चल रहा है. आपको नहीं लगता ये लोगों पे बुरा असर हो रहा है?
ये तो गलत है मैम, मगर कोई अभी थोड़ा ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं दे रहा है, मगर अब ध्यान देगा अभी.
और सर कंपनी से कुछ ऐसे सर्कुलर ऐसा कुछ आया है कि काम बंद कर?
हाँ कंपनी बोली है कि बंद कर दो. कंपनी से आदेश आया है कि काम बंद कर देना है. मगर हम लोग लेबर लाए हैं, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं, तो काम चलाना पड़ेगा. उन लोगों को कैसे पैसा दिया जाएगा, कहाँ से दिया जाएगा?
ये सब क्या बन रहा है एग्जैक्टली?
ये द्वारका एक्सप्रेसवे बन रहा है अंडरपास से मैम.
कब से बन रहा है
ये मैडम? हमारे ख्याल से 2019 की 20 से बन रहा है.
तो दिल्ली सरकार है वो लगातार सेंट्रल पर ब्लेम कर रही है, कह रही है वो जॉइंट एक्शन प्लान लेके नहीं.
दिल्ली में सांसों का आपातकाल है. वो जो सेंटर को ब्लेम कर रहे हैं उनसे पूछना चाहिए कि आज पराली का, आज 19 तारीख है, कल पराली का स्कोर क्या था. जो सरकारी आंकड़े हैं, अकेले पंजाब में 1251 घटनाएं रजिस्टर्ड हुई हैं. और क्या कारण है? यूपी में 133 और हरियाणा में 38 थी. तो कौन दोषी है उसका? लेकिन पंजाब की वो बात नहीं करेंगी. अपने नकारेपन, अपने निकम्मेपन को छुपाने के लिए अरविंद केजरीवाल और आतिशी मार लेना, दूसरी इधर उधर की बातें करती हैं. ये तो दिल्ली को इस हालत में लाने का जिम्मेदार अरविंद केजरीवाल है, उनकी सरकार है, जिन्होंने दिल्ली में सड़कों की मरम्मत नहीं की, गड्ढे नहीं भरे, जिसकी वजह से धूल के कारण दिल्ली में और सफाई व्यवस्था ना होने के कारण दिल्ली की ये हालत है।
सर, मेरा आखिरी सवाल ये है कि ग्रेडेड रिस्पांस एक्शन प्लान का जो चौथा स्टेज है वो अब लागू हो गया है, लेकिन फिर भी लगातार देख रहे हैं कि AQI और खराब ही होते जा रहा है। सरकार को क्या कहना?
मैं फिर कह रहा हूँ कि अगर आपने 10 साल में मेजरमेंट लिए होते, अगर आपने 10 साल काम किए थे तो आज आपको ये झूठ नहीं बोलना पड़ता। दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल के सरकार का नकारापन है, जिसकी वजह से ये खामियाजा दिल्ली की जनता भुगत रही है। और ये मास्क जो है, ये मास्क आने वाले समय में दिल्ली वालों के लिए चेतावनी है। अगर इस भ्रष्ट सरकार को यहाँ से नहीं हटाया तो हर दिल्ली वाले को ये मास्क पहनने पड़ेंगे।
देश की राजधानी दिल्ली लगातार प्रदूषण की चपेट में है। AQI लगातार जो है बेहद गंभीर स्थिति में बना हुआ है। और आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं पर्यावरण मंत्री गोपाल राय, तो हम इनसे बात करेंगे। सर, लगातार जो है दिल्ली में प्रदूषण बेहद गंभीर स्थिति में है, तो अब क्या स्टेप्स जो है दिल्ली सरकार द्वारा लिए जाएंगे?
पहली बात तो ये दिल्ली में नहीं है
जी,
पूरे उत्तर भारत में है। हरियाणा में है, उत्तर प्रदेश में है, मध्य प्रदेश में है, राजस्थान में है। पूरा उत्तर भारत इस समय प्रदूषण की चपेट में है। और जब आधा देश का हिस्सा प्रदूषण की चपेट में है, दिल्ली सरकार काम कर रही है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सभी सरकारें सो रही हैं। ऐसी स्थिति जब सबको सक्रियता से काम करने की जरूरत है, आज पूरी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार सो रही है, इससे बड़ा दुखद और कुछ नहीं हो सकता है। आज जो प्रदूषण की स्थिति बनी है दिल्ली के अंदर, हम काम लगातार कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो एक्सपर्ट्स का कहना है कि एक स्मॉग की चादर अब आसमान में दिख रही है और वो प्रदूषण के स्तर को लगातार बढ़ा रही है, क्योंकि जो प्रदूषण के कण हैं वो वायुमंडल में डिस्पर्स नहीं हो रहे हैं, उसको तोड़ने की ज़रूरत है। एक्सपर्ट्स की जो ओपिनियन है कि या तो हवा से टूट सकती है तेज, या बारिश से। आर्टिफिशियल रेन के लिए पिछली बार ही हमने IIT कानपुर के साथ पहल शुरू की थी। उनका कहना था कि इसके लिए सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की कई सारी परमिशंस चाहिए। इसीलिए इस बार अगस्त के महीने से ही हमने केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री जी को चिट्ठियां लिखनी शुरू की कि भाई एक इमरजेंसी मीटिंग बुला लीजिए, एक मीटिंग बुला लीजिए, जो परमिशंस की ज़रूरत है उसको पूरा किया जाए, और अगर इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन बनती है तो लोगों को इस प्रदूषण की मार से बचाई जा सके। हमने आपको, मैं दिखाना चाहता हूँ, ये चिट्ठी हमने सबसे पहले 30 अगस्त को लिखी थी। न जवाब आया इसका और न मीटिंग बुलाई गई। उसके बाद फिर हमने दूसरी जो चिट्ठी है वो 10 अक्टूबर को लिखी पर्यावरण मंत्री जी को, न जवाब आया न मीटिंग बुलाई गई। उसके बाद फिर हमने तीसरी चिट्ठी लिखी पर्यावरण मंत्री जी को 23 अक्टूबर को, न जवाब आया न मीटिंग बुलाई गई। उसके बाद एक मीटिंग में ऑनलाइन मुलाकात जो है, ऑनलाइन मीटिंग में पर्यावरण मंत्री भी थे, केंद्रीय कृषि मंत्री भी थे, उनसे भी हमने निवेदन किया कि एक मीटिंग बुला लीजिए, नहीं जवाब आया।
Now, Shiv Sena UBT leader Sanjay Raut has criticized Maharashtra's Home Minister Devendra Fadnavis for the worsening law and order situation in the state following the recent attack on former Minister Anil Deshmukh. Now, the UBT also went on to say that there is a conspiracy to kill Anil Deshmukh. Meanwhile, NCP Sharad Pawar faction has demanded thorough probe into Anil Deshmukh's attack and said instead of calling this political stunt, state government should take and get to the root of this, and they have asked the Election Commission to probe the incident. Sample the reaction first of Sanjay Raut, what he had to say.
महाराष्ट्र की कानून व्यवस्था, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर पूरी तरह से खत्म हो गई। इस राज्य में चुनाव में इस प्रकार की भयंकर हिंसा कभी नहीं हुई थी। देवेंद्र फडणवीस विद्यमान गृह मंत्री है, उनके शहर में महाराष्ट्र के पूर्व गृह मंत्री अनिल देशमुख के ऊपर उनको मारने की साजिश, उनकी हत्या करने की साजिश, और उनको जिस तरह से हमला किया, आपने देखा उसका वीडियो, पूरा सर टूट गया है, फूट गया है। कौन जिम्मेदार है? चुनाव आयोग के हाथ में पूरे सूत्र रहते हैं ना, तो सबसे पहले चुनाव आयोग जिम्मेदार है, जो महाराष्ट्र की हालत खराब हो गई है।
अनिल
Anil Deshmukh will be recording his statement. We know for a fact that an FIR has been registered against unidentified people on charges of attempt to murder. This incident happening last evening when Deshmukh was returning from a Katol constituency where he was campaigning for his son Salil Deshmukh, who was a contestant there. When his car was attacked, he sustained head injuries. He was immediately hospitalized, but he also reacted as soon as he was injured, saying that BJP could be behind this. Of course, BJP has rubbished these allegations, and also some of the leaders from the BJP calling this a political stunt as well. But NCP Sharad Pawar faction and MVA in particular have reacted very strongly to the attack that happened. In fact, Supriya Sule also reacting, saying that this questions the law and order situation as far as Nagpur and whole of Maharashtra is concerned. Law and order situation in the state has in fact collapsed under the current regime is something NCP SP has reiterated, also calling for a thorough probe from the state government and also asking Election Commission to look into it. So who these perpetrators are still unclear at this point. Are they related to any political party and what could be the motive is a matter of investigation. There is a possibility that a press conference could be taken by Nagpur police perhaps in the evening, but the attack on Anil Deshmukh, a tall leader from Maharashtra, former Home Minister, has definitely snowballed into a political controversy with NCP Sharad Pawar faction not really taking this lightly, also calling for strict action and thorough probe as far as this entire case is concerned, and also you know, sort of showing concerns as far as the law and order situation in the state is concerned, which they call has completely collapsed under the BJP's regime. So we'll have to see how it plays out as elections are, of course, happening tomorrow in the state.
Now joining me for a quick reaction is Krishna Hegde, the spokesperson of Shiv Sena Shinde faction. Krishna, thank you so much for talking to me, but you know, there are several questions being raised on the Mahayuti government. Anil Deshmukh has been attacked. The probe is underway, but you know, UBT is saying this is a conspiracy to kill Anil Deshmukh.
No, see, first of all, we wish him a speedy recovery, and why would there be a conspiracy to kill him? You know, firstly, let me tell you that he is one of the senior leaders of Maharashtra, and he has been a former Home Minister, so he knows the process himself also. Secondly, that, you know, the Mahayuti has no hand in this. Now, there are always allegations that some of this is self-inflicted for sympathy, or maybe it is a third party who has done it. The police are probing the matter, and as soon as, I think there's already a press conference of the police commissionerate in the evening, and I think they'll give a statement on that. Before that, it's too early to talk on the matter.
Okay. Thank you so much, Krishna Hegde, for speaking to NDTV. Now, the Andhra Pradesh government has done away with the rule that candidates having more than 2 children are ineligible to contest the elections for local bodies. Putting an end to 30-year-old policy, the 2-child policy was introduced in United Andhra Pradesh in 1994 by passing the Andhra Pradesh Panchayat Raj Bill and the Andhra Pradesh Municipal Laws Amendment Bill in 2024. Now, 30 years ago, in May 1994, the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh Assembly had passed an amendment bill that made the 2-child norm mandatory for those seeking elections to Gram Panchayats, Mandal Praja Parishads and Zilla Parishads. My colleague Uma has more details.
erstwhile state of Andhra Pradesh had in fact implemented the family planning in a very aggressive manner, almost should I say, and that's the reason why the total fertility rate had fallen by half, and it is now below the replacement rate. Replacement rate is considered the number 2, meaning every couple has about 2 children, whereas the average now is about 1.6, which means it has fallen less than the replacement rate, and therefore Chandrababu Naidu, who was an advocate of allowing only those people to contest the local body elections who had 2 children or less, is now reverse the policy. It's a 180-degree turn that the government has taken to incentivize child population growth. In fact, the number of youngsters or the population of people below 15 has fallen quite dramatically, and that's the reason why Chandrababu Naidu in the recent past as well has said that we need to increase the population, and he told women that he wants them to be producing more children and that he would incentivize revise it, and as part of the same move, the AP Municipal Corporation and the AP Panchayat Raj Act, both of them have been amended. Rather, the amendment which was earlier done has been now done away with to ensure that those who have more than 2 children also can participate in the democratic process and participate in the elections as well.
Now shifting our focus to Himachal Pradesh, where Himachal government has failed to clear its power dues, not less than 160 crores. High Court has now stepped in, has allowed the sale of Himachal Bhavan in Delhi. Now BJP has trained guns on Sukhu government, saying it is Kong's poor policies that have been exposed, as the mismanagement in the government is exposed after Sukhu government failed to pay at least 150 crore electricity dues. The Power Department has got the approval of the High Court, and it has attached Himachal Bhavan, which is in Delhi's Mandi House, to be attached. Now, High Court, after the High Court's allowance, BJP is training guns at Himachal Pradesh government. BJP says this is the first time such a situation has happened in Himachal Pradesh, while the Congress says that this is the situation that can be dealt with. Jairam Thakur spoke over it. Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister said that this is not unprecedented and the government will make sure that they overcome such a situation. Sample the reactions coming in.
सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हाई कोर्ट का फैसला 13 जनवरी 2023 को आया और उसके बावजूद भी सरकार जो है वो गंभीरता से इसको नहीं ले रही है। ये जो सेली प्रोजेक्ट का अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम का जो पैसा 64 करोड़ रुपए देने के लिए आदेश हुए थे, मुझे लगता है कि जो हिमाचल प्रदेश की सरकार सारे विषयों को बहुत गंभीरता से नहीं ले रही है। ऐसी स्थिति हिमाचल प्रदेश की आज से पहले कभी नहीं आई। पहली बात, कोर्ट के मामलों को भी सरकार गंभीरता से नहीं ले रही है और एक के बाद एक फैसले जो हिमाचल प्रदेश में जो हो रहे हैं, जिसके कारण सरकार की फजीहत होती जा रही है।
कोई बड़ा नहीं है, लेकिन अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम जो है वो एक पॉलिसी के तहत है और एक पॉलिसी के तहत 2006 में जब ऊर्जा नीति बनी थी तो उसमें उस ऊर्जा नीति में मैं भी मेन आर्किटेक्ट था। मैडम स्टोक्स उस समय ऊर्जा मिनिस्टर थे। तो अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम ये था कि कोई भी पावर प्रोजेक्ट लग जाए, लगे या ना लगे, उस पॉलिसी में क्लियर है। हमने एक रिजर्व प्राइस पर मेगावाट जैसे 10 लाख रिजर्व प्राइस रखा था। उस अपफ्रंट के मामले में आर्बिट्रेशन से कोई फैसला आया, उसके खिलाफ हाई कोर्ट हमारी सरकार गई और सरकार ने उसमें जो 64 करोड़ रुपए आर्बिट्रेशन का था वो जमा कराना था। उसके बारे में मैंने अभी जानकारी प्राप्त की है।
Well, with that, we're slipping into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
कैसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Viewers, the Supreme Court had laid down stringent guidelines while banning ragging in educational institutions with zero tolerance to the initiation ritual as the norm. Yet, ragging of freshers that often entails humiliation, abuse and coercion resulting in profound physical and psychological scars continue to cast a long shadow. The death of a first-year student of a Gujarat-based medical college after he was allegedly made to stand for 3 hours underscore the severity of this issue. 15 seniors have been suspended and booked. My colleague Anuj Raite is joining me for more details. Anuj, first, take us through this horror. What happened exactly? Take us through the details.
This incident took place in a medical college located in Patan, which is 6 kilometers away from the Patan city, where in a medical college, the second year students, they put out a message on a WhatsApp group calling a few of their juniors, as many as 10 to 11 juniors, for an introduction. And when they were there, they were made to dance, they were made to sing. And after several hours of, this particular sort of ragging that went on, some of these students were made to stand out for long hours. This particular individual that we are talking about, Atul Patel, he was standing outside the room for close to 3 to 4 hours, and as it was an add-on to all the humiliation that he had faced already, eventually he collapsed, and then he was immediately taken to the hospital close by, where he was declared dead. Now, the college authorities here have been very prompt as they filed a complaint regarding the same, and they've also made sure that the academic activities of all the 15 students who are involved, in ragging have been suspended. Besides that, they've also interrogated the rest of the 10 students as well, who were the victims of this ragging. Yesterday, we saw that throughout the day, the interrogation of the 15 accused and the 11 victims and the 10 victims went on throughout the day, and today we are expecting the accused to be presented in the Patan court at around 4 to 5 in the afternoon or before that. That is the major detail, that is a major update coming from there. The police would be asking, the local authorities would be demanding for as strict action as possible in this particular case. But then questions will also be asked to the MBBS college where this particular incident took place, even though they were very prompt to react. The student in question here scored really good marks before qualifying for this particular college, and he comes from a family of farmers, which has seen a sort of an atmosphere, a very ugly atmosphere being created in the entire Patan region of Gujarat.
Absolutely, Anuj. Thank you so much for joining us with those details. I'm also being joined by Rajendra Kachru, who is an anti-ragging campaigner. Now, I'm also being joined by Dr. Furqan Qamar, who is a professor of management studies, Jamia Millia Islamia. He's also the former Vice Chancellor of University of Rajasthan. Thank you so much for speaking to me on NDTV. Rajendra Kachru, if I can come to you first, have you ever, faced ragging, or your loved one faced ragging?
Yes, I have it's exactly a repeat of the story. My son got killed in a medical school in Himachal in 2009. And year after year, I hear this story all the time. And over these years, we campaigned for eradication of ragging in this country. And we were making good success. My point here is, which I repeat often, is that now in this case, 15 students will be brought to court, and there will be demands for their hang them and kill them and imprison them, and they're murderers and this, that, and the other. That is true, because they have killed a young boy. But at the same time, we never ask the question, what happens to Medical Council of India? What happens to the administration in that college? What happens to UGC? What happened to the ragging committees that they have formed? What happened to the Supreme Court judgment that was passed? What happened to the work that we've been doing for the last 10 years? I can tell you, this is not the forum, but I can tell you at least that none of these things work. So we can easily bring these students. As far as I'm concerned, it's very sad that a young fellow has died. First of all, I want to convey my condolences to his parents, because it's not only me, many dozens of people have suffered this in the last 15 years.
Absolutely.
Even last year. But at the same time, I want to tell you that the whole system has broken down. And I have no hesitation in saying, for few lakh rupees, few bureaucrats who sold out this system, few lakh rupees maybe not even that. So this is the tragedy. Every time we say these 15 students are, in my opinion, they are also the victims of this system. Where is the Medical Council of India? Medical Council of India, where is the administration of this college? And where is UGC? Where is the Ragman Committee and the other committees that were formed? Where is the ministry? Writing a letter to colleges, 50,000 colleges every year, is not going to stop this kind of thing. It's deep inside our system.
Absolutely. Mr. Kachru, my heart goes out to you, and thank you for sharing that, horrific experience that you had to go through. Mr. Qamar, do you think when even the prospect of even harsh punishment, Supreme Court has laid down punishment, it is not an effective deterrent? Does it call for a rethink on actionable strategies to combat ragging, as Mr. Kachru was saying?
No, I would fully agree with Mr. Kachru. I think this is a very painful, sad day for us, and the presence of Mr. Kachru here in this show makes us all relive the tragedies that happen year after year in one college or the other college. I think there are strictest guidelines, but I think the implementation is an issue. Most of the institutions would confine themselves by putting a poster. The regulatory bodies would think that by sending a circular to colleges would serve the purpose. I think we will have to be more proactive in stopping these kinds of incidents. When we know that the admission time is over, and new students are likely to join, I think we need to counsel the existing students in a restricted manner that the ragging is an offense and it is not acceptable. What else do we need? There are laws, there are Supreme Court guidelines, there are evidences and instances of young, bright life being lost. So I think we need to sensitize existing students before the new students come to the campus. At the time when they are in the campus, I think the institutions need to become very, very alert and vigilant. I think it will be a matter of about 10-15 days till the things settle. So if we take those preventive steps rather than taking corrective steps after the incidents have happened, it is, I think Mr. Kachru rightly said, that one student, bright young student, lost his life. My heart reaches out to his parents. But at the same time, these 15 students are also victim of their ignorance, victim of not being sensitized and being allowed to take up these kinds of activities. So I think majorly the academic institution will have to take responsibility and they will have to become all the more alert, which they are not. So once this event happened, the police FIR and all of those things, but they don't serve the purpose. Otherwise, these things would not have been repeating year after year. I have been vice chancellor of a university. I know that if the university administration, college administration want, they can create a condition that such events do not happen. What stops them from making the wardens, the hostel staffs, the university administration, the proctorial team to be on vigil? Why not sensitize the students and have volunteer groups of senior students to see that these things do not happen? I think a lot needs to be done. Otherwise, it will become a mere lip service.
Absolutely. A safe environment has to be created inside the college. As both of you mentioned one important point, that not just the victim but the accused who is bullying another person is also a victim himself and needs proper guideline, proper maintenance and proper, channel from which, he can come forward and share his experience. Mr. Kachru, what do you suggest? What should the universities do on their part, as well as parents at home should do, so that their child comes home and speaks to them, frankly about what's happening in the college?
First of all, we have to inform the parents that whatever they feel is not right. They think that I'm sending my child to the college and the college authorities are going to look after his safety. That's not correct. So they have to be very careful. We used to do this for last 10 years, campaigning every day to 1 lakh parents. We used to tell them, please be sure, watch the smallest things that you can see. But besides that, there is a program in India, a very advanced program that was designed in 2009, approved by all the regulatory authorities, approved by the Supreme Court. It needed implementation. It worked for 10 years. We reduced ragging phenomenally in India. After that, it's back to the same situation. Because of the change in administration, change in people, they don't care. So it is not easy. We have 20 million students in this country in 50,000 colleges. It is more than the population of many countries in the world. So you cannot just control 20 million students by writing a circular letter. There has to be a system, and that system was in place until 4 or 5 years ago. We were making tremendous progress in this country, but it's broken down. We don't need to rethink about it. A lot of thinking has gone into these for the last 20 years. In 2009, we had 42 cases of suicides in this country.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of thinking has gone. A proper, what we call a national ragging prevention program is in place. The law is in place, the system is in place, but it's not being implemented.
Absolutely,
So
Mr.
we, instead of asking these 15 students who are victims, in my opinion, of the system, we should ask the big IAS officers and the big administration, big principals of colleges, what's your contribution in this? Why are we not implementing National Ragging Prevention Program, which has been there approved by so many committees, by the Supreme Court finally, and is in the shape of a law. Why is not compliance? Who is checking the compliance of this? There is a compliance system. Is this college, first of all, I would ask, did this college comply with the regulations? No, I can tell you that now, even without going to the detail. They did not check. They did not comply with the law. So why can't they be held responsible? Why shouldn't they be held responsible? There is a provision in the regulation law that the head of the administration is penally responsible. He should be penalized.
Absolutely, a safe environment has to be made. Students need to be sensitized, parents need to be aware, and college authorities need to wake up and take strict measures. The Supreme Court has already laid down the laws, but will it be implemented remains a big question. Thank you so much, Mr. Kachru and Mr. Kamar, for joining us with that detailed analysis of what's wrong in the society. Shifting on, Samajwadi Party's veiled attack now has been given a sharp response by Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister. Now, the Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister has called the Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav's letter to EC misleading, says we follow poll panel rules. Now, remember, Samajwadi Party Chief had written to EC saying that cops should not check voter ID of voters. The SP chief had urged the Election Commission to issue written orders saying Muslim women asked to remove veils in Lok Sabha polls. This was the allegation that was levelled by Akhilesh Yadav, saying that cops are checking voter ID cards, checking Muslim women, asking them to remove their veil. But now UP Deputy CM is saying that nothing of this sort is happening. The police and the authorities are following the protocols, and as UP will have bypolls tomorrow, this is the controversy that is brewing. My colleague Aishwarya Jain is joining me for more details. Aishwarya, take us through the full controversy that is brewing in Uttar Pradesh.
Well, just ahead of the 9 bypolls in Uttar Pradesh, it is the Uttar Pradesh Samajwadi Party State Chief Shyamlal Pal who had written to the State Chief Election Officer about, about writing that there should be orders that should be given to the Uttar Pradesh police personals that no police personnel should check their vein of a woman during the bypolls that are scheduled in Uttar Pradesh. In fact, in that particular letter, he had also written that in 2014 Lok Sabha polls, there were several instances when the police personnel checked the vein of the Muslim women, specifically the Samajwadi Party workers, due to which they went to the polling booths, but they were sent back because of this instance. And it was just not in 1 or 2 Lok Sabha constituency at that point of time. In several constituencies, according to him, this had been reported. And earlier as well, the Samajwadi Party had raised it to the Election Commission. Replying to that, it was the Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister who had hit back at the Samajwadi Party, saying that such allegations had been done by the Samajwadi Party quite often, which is misleading, which is false and incorrect, because the police personnel only follow the protocols and the rules and regulations that are laid by the Election Commission of India. In fact, in that particular letter by the Samajwadi Party Uttar Pradesh chief, they have also written about the sections that are in the handbook of Election Commission, which clearly says that only the polling officer can check the identity card and also the veins and the identity of any electoral. Now, it has sharply responded by the Bharatiya Janata Party. The controversy had grew up since the last 2014 Lok Sabha elections as well, that it is just not the Uttar Pradesh State Chief but also Akhilesh Yadav mentioning this issue several of times in the past.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for joining us with those details. Now, shifting our focus to Maharashtra, elections in the battleground state of Maharashtra is tomorrow. Farmers are a key vote bank for both the MVA and the Mahayuti. Ahead of this big election day, we focus on agrarian issues of the farmers in the state, especially the soya-bean farmers in Nashik. My colleague Anuj Raite has this report. Take a look.
क्लाइमेट की वजह से मर रहा है और ये कानून के रूल से मर रहा है.
त्याच्यामुळं सोयाबीन पिकामध्ये ना शेतकरी पूर्ण घाट्यात गेलेला आहे. तर शासनानं याच्यावर 48 जणांना 6 जणांना काही नाही, हमी भाव 10च्या मोहर मिळाला पाहिजे आम्हाला शेतकऱ्यांना.
ड्यूटी बांग्लादेश के जो बढ़ाया है वो कम होना चाहिए और जो पेस्टिसाइड पे लिक्विड फर्टिलाइज़र पे जो GST लगा है 18% वो कम हो गया, तभी ग्रेप फार्मिंग बच सकती है.
किसानों के लिए दिन में लाइट चाहिए, किसानों के लिए जो सुविधा हो, समझो कैनल का पानी हो वो टाइम पे मिलना चाहिए.
In May 2024, the northern Maharashtra region cost BJP some crucial seats. Nashik, a district known for its agricultural prosperity, also rebelled over the onion prices. Leading up to the state assembly elections, soybean seems to have replaced onion in many parts. What makes this more interesting is the fact that soybean is one of the most widely grown crops in the state. Soybean has become a hot topic here in the political arena of Maharashtra days before the state goes to poll. There are several districts here in the state which are solely dependent on this crop, soybean, and soybean farmers are under extreme distress if you talk to them. Let us try and understand what is the magnitude of it. But what you see on the screen right now is the amount of soybean which the farmers here have been able to yield in this entire 2 acres of land. They believe that this is just 20 to 25% of what should have ideally been the case, while the majority of it is down in the ground as waste.
जब फडणवीस अपोजिशन में खड़े रहते थे तो 2014 में तो वो 6000 की डिमांड करते थे. अब 6000 डिमांड करते हैं, आज 24 से 10 साल हुआ. अभी उन्होंने 10,000 की डिमांड करनी चाहिए मतलब देनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वो अभी सरकार में बैठे हैं ना, तो देनी चाहिए. वो दे नहीं रहे, खाली बोलने का. जब इलेक्शन आता है, लोकसभा आई तब एक बात करने की, विधानसभा आई तब एक बात करने की. किसान इसमें मर रहा है. एक तो क्लाइमेट की वजह से मर रहा है और ये कानून के रूल से मर रहा है.
सोयाबीन पिकवणाऱ्या शेतकऱ्यांवर आव्हान म्हणजे हा जो पेड आहे सोयाबीनचा, हा एक तर जादा टेम्परेचरमध्ये जादा पावसामध्ये आहे ना, याची शेंग फुटते, शेंग फुटून जाती. मजुराची अडचण आहे, मजूर टाईमवर मिळत नाही, रेट मिळत नाही टाईमवर. त्याच्यामुळं सोयाबीन पिकामध्ये ना शेतकरी पूर्ण घाट्यात गेलेला आहे. तर शासनानं याच्यावर 48 जणांना 6 जणांना काही नाही, हमी भाव 10च्या मोहर मिळाला पाहिजे आम्हाला शेतकऱ्यांना.
When you look at Nashik region, it can be divided into several parts, right? Some parts of it get enough water while some don't. Some are a little more flourishing than the others. I'm present here in the Yevla Taluka of Nashik region, of North Maharashtrian region, and this is where the soybean issue is probably the hottest in this entire region. जो हमी भाव सरकार ने फिलहाल मंजूर किया है वो है 5000 के करीब. सबसे पहले बताइए कि क्या जो 4890 का हमी भाव जो सरकार ने मंजूर किया है, क्या वो आपको मिल रहा है फिलहाल?
नहीं मिलेगा.
कितना मिल रहा है अभी आपको?
आपको 41
4100 रुपए मिल रहा है.
100 रुपए मिलेगा.
Local leaders are contesting the election from Niphad have different opinions on the entire issue. While the incumbent MLA believes that the issue isn't that big in Nashik, the opposition thinks farmers will hit back through their votes.
किसानों के लिए क्या चाहिए? खेती माल को अच्छी तरह मुआवजा मिलना चाहिए खेती माल का, और बीज का मुआवजा बीज कम भाव में मिलना चाहिए. किसानों को खाद मिलना चाहिए, जो पहले 800 में थी अभी 1600 मिल रही है, 1800 में मिल रही है. किसानों के लिए दिन में लाइट चाहिए, किसानों के लिए जो सुविधा हो, समझो कैनल का पानी हो वो टाइम पे मिलना चाहिए, वो ये देना चाहिए. वो ये जो सरकार दे रही PM किसान और ये लाडली बहना, वो कुछ नहीं चाहिए. किसान अभी भी वो कमज़ोर नहीं है. किसान अपने तरफ से जिंदा है, पर वो क्या है कि वो ऐसा समझो कि तो किसानों के लिए ना सरकार जो ये रकम दे रही है उससे किसान के लिए ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो कमज़ोर हो गया।
हमने किसानों को बोला जिसको माल बेचना है वो अगर मार्केट में बेचेंगे उसका जो डिफरेंस रहेगा वो अपन राज्य सरकार की तरफ से दे सकते हैं।
Farmer of soybean has been suffering. They have been expecting the rates of 10,000 whereas it is below 4. So altogether farmers definitely will prove themselves with voting against this all issues.
An inconsistent oil import policy, a staggeringly low MSP, and lack of basic facilities from electricity to even water are some of the many reasons why the soybean farmers here in Nashik are dissatisfied with the current dispensation. While some believe that the schemes brought in by the government lately have actually helped them enough to compensate for the little price they're getting for soybean, the others believe that the government might need to pay a heavy price on the 23rd of this month. How many of these people will actually turn out on the 20th of this month and vote accordingly is something that we'll have to wait and watch out for. With camera person Mahesh Halwai, this is Anuj Raite reporting for NDTV from Nashik.
Now, breaking news coming in, there is high drama in Maharashtra's Virar. BJP Neta has been accused of cash for votes. Bahujan Vikas Aghadi workers are creating ruckus. BJP leader Vinod Tavre has been gheraued by Bahujan Vikas Aghadi workers after they allege that BJP is distributing cash for votes. My colleague Anuj Raite is joining me for more details. Anuj, take us to the whole controversy.
The Bahujan Vikas Aghadi members, they have accused Vinod Tavre of holding cash up to 5 crore rupees and also maintaining diaries in which records are present on what amount of cash is to be distributed in what parts of the city. This is a serious allegation made by Hitendra Thakur, one of the members of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi. And they've, as a result of that, the locals there have gheraued, we can see in the visuals that they've gheraued the General Secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Vinod Tavre, who is here for campaigning. And although the Bharatiya Janata Party has refuted these claims and have said that there is no substantial evidence which the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi members or all those people who are accusing Vinod Tavre of, of putting out cash or giving out cash to voters have. But the ones who have accused Vinod Tavre of doing this are very stubborn on the fact that this kind of incident did take place, and it's not just the money that they've gotten basically, but also the diary in which all the records were present. So they've also stated that the police was taken there. The members of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi were present there, and all of them have been informed about what has happened. But they also spoke to the media and said how they do not really expect much action from the police in this case, but they'll be trying their best to make sure that the ones in question here, that is Vinod Tavre and his associates, are questioned thoroughly for the same.
But Anuj, do we know any reaction coming in from the Maharashtra BJP unit's side? The allegation is very big, 5 crore being given for votes.
Yes, we are yet to get a reaction from one of the top leaders from Maharashtra, and especially because it is Vinod Tavre involved here. So it is going to be very big. But, all those who have basically spoken to media till now have completely refuted this claim and have said that the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi do not have any substantial evidence, be it photographic evidence or otherwise, to prove the same.
Anuj, just a day before Maharashtra goes for voting, this big allegation being made against BJP, what will its implication be on the polls tomorrow?
Since 5 p.m. yesterday, when the campaigning period ended, we saw that two major things have taken place. Firstly, the alleged attack on Anil Deshmukh yesterday in Katol, and today this. And both of these incidents involve two big leaders. And in both of these incidents, we are finding that the Mahayuti, or especially the Bharatiya Janata Party, in some sort of a tricky terrain. Of course, the incident that took place yesterday was far more serious, as it involves the body and the health of a senior and a former Home Minister of the state. But as far as this particular allegation is concerned, a lot will depend on what kind of proofs are the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi individuals or members are able to put forth in front of the authorities. because, they will need to back their claims up with strong proofs. They are making a mention of a diary in which all the records are mentioned, and they're also talking about how people from Vinod Taude's end are in constant touch with the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi's leaders, asking them to letting it off go. But then they will need substantial proofs to, to take this ahead, especially if they want this incident to have any sort of an impact on the election, which is literally hours away from now.
Absolutely, Anuj. Big allegation, big proof needs to be made. We are still awaiting any reaction from the BJP side after BVA workers have alleged that cash for votes is a scheme that is being adopted by the BJP just a day ahead of polls. Thank you so much, Anuj, for those details. And with that, we are slipping into a very short break.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
This week on India Ascends. All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan. Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution? All this and more only on India Sense with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
Hello and good afternoon. This is NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. Let's quickly take you to the headlines we are tracking at 2 p.m. TDP's big decision, no non-Hindus on Tirumala board. BJP welcomes the TDD's decision to remove non-Hindus. High drama in Maharashtra's Virar. BJP Neta accused of cash for votes. BVA workers create ruckus. Madras High Court restrains grant of award to TM Krishna. Award can't be given in Subbalakshmi's name is what the High Court says. Order after Subbalakshmi's grandson objects, says TM Krishna criticized Subbalakshmi many times. Delhi continues to choke amid political blame game. BJP now blames the Aam Aadmi Party for Delhi health crisis. Delhi government demands artificial rain from centre. Andhra Pradesh scraps two-child norm in local polls. The Legislative Assembly has done away with the rule where candidates having more than 2 children were ineligible to contest the elections for local body polls. 15 accused arrested in the ragging case after the death of a first-year student who was made to stand for 3 hours in Gujarat's Dharpur Medical College. Canadians flying to India to face more scrutiny. Canada enhances security screening for passengers flying to India. Let's start with some news which is coming in from Maharashtra. Remember, elections in the state are due tomorrow. Polling is due tomorrow, and today there was high drama in the Virar area of Maharashtra, where BJP Neta has been accused of cash for votes. Bahujan Vanchit Aghadi, the BVA workers, created ruckus at BJP leader an accused BJP leader Vinod Tawre of distributing money. Now, remember, Bahujan Vikas Aghadi is the party of Prakash Ambedkar, the grandson of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. The workers created a ruckus in the hotel in Virar, accusing Vinod Tawre and candidate Rajan Naik of distributing money. The police was also seen mediating, trying to calm the tempers there. Uproar broke out in the Nasupara after the information of BJP distributing money in presence of leader Vinod Tawre. Now, BJP reacts, in fact, to this incident. Tawre has said had come to meet some workers after planning for the polls. If there is any allegation of distribution of money, then Election Commission should investigate that. All the CCTV footage of the hotel should be checked. This is a baseless allegation as per the BJP. Anuj, my colleague, is with us at this moment. Anuj, now, this is something that a lot of poll watchers have been, in fact, speaking about, that the last 24 hours, there is going to be a lot of movement of money as far as these elections are concerned, which could play crucial role in these elections. Now, these serious allegations against Mr. Tawre.
These are very serious allegations, and this becomes especially important because a leader of Vinod Tawre's stature is directly involved in it. In the visuals, we can see that the workers of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi are gherowing Mr. Tawre, accusing him of distributing the cash, also maintaining a diary in which the records contain on how much cash is given to who all. This is an allegation made by Hitendra Thakur, a leader of the Bahujan Vikas Aghadi, and this is going to be extremely crucial because we are just hours away from the from the polls right now, and it was said that this incident took place. The distribution of money has been going on for quite some time, and then as a result of that, he was get out today morning. But because this happens right after what happened in Vidarbha yesterday late at night in Katol, when former Home Minister Anil Deshmukh's car was also allegedly attacked. And in both these situations, we see that the Bharatiya Janata Party finds itself in a very precarious situation. Where on one end we are seeing that the MVA leaders are directly accusing the BJP of attacking their former Home Minister, while on the other hand we have their senior leader being accused of distributing cash hours before the election. But the BJP has maintained that this is just a stunt from the BVA, and it is their way of trying to gain limelight. But they're also saying, or rather stating, that if in case any of these things are proven right after the CCTV cameras of that particular hotels are checked, or if there are any more other substantial proofs that the BVA is able to put in front of the Election Commission authorities, then strong action should be initiated. But as of now, they've termed it as a stunt and called it off, saying that there are not enough substantial evidence, to prove that Mr. Tawre was indeed involved in either holding cash or distributing it in Virar.
Anuj, stay on with me. Let me also bring in our colleague Radhika, who is joining us with more details on this. Radhika, have the BVA workers, has there been some sort of proof that they have presented any complaint which has been made to the Election Commission?
Well, what we're hearing is that they're in the process of filing a complaint. There is a possibility there could be some evidence presented. But I did speak to a few BJP officials who have completely rubbished these allegations by BVA. In fact, some of the BJP leaders saying that Vinod Tavde had gone to that particular place to meet the workers as far as the planning of polls are concerned. And if there is any sort of allegation, then the Election Commission should investigate it, is something that the BJP is very affirmatively saying. That if this is true, then there must be investigation. But this is nothing but gimmick as far as BJP is concerned, and they are free to check all the CCTV footage there on these allegations. So yes, BJP quite confident that these allegations cannot be proven. This is just a meeting by the senior leader of BJP, Vinod Tavde, with a few BJP workers there, and there is absolutely no exchange or give and take of cash that has happened, is something the Bharatiya Janata Party has confirmed, or rather has said at this point. But whether this will lead to any sort of thorough probe in this matter, that is something that remains to be seen. In most likelihood, yes, BVA could possibly present some sort of evidence before the Election Commission and could take it forward from there. But will these allegations be proven day before the elections? That is something we'll have to wait and watch out for.
Thank you to both of you for joining us with this big story. In fact, remember, tomorrow is the elections in Maharashtra. The polling will start, and ahead of that, some serious allegations coming the BJP way being made by the BVA. Moving on now, the BJP has welcomed the decision of the TDD board to weed out non-Hindus from the staff. The new TDD board has taken a decision to send non-Hindus to the state government cadre or offer them VRS. In an exclusive interview, newly appointed TDD board chairperson had told NDTV the decision is fully justified. Why should non-Hindus work in Tirumala? Uma Sudhir, my colleague, is joining us with more details on this. Uma, you know, this entire thing also gained a lot of traction when the allegations were made about the laddus and so on and so forth. Now with this move, how is it being looked at politically and also socially?
So like you mentioned, the Bharatiya Janata Party has welcomed the decision of the TTD board, the new board which met yesterday, to remove the non-Hindus from the TTD employment, the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. And B.R. Naidu, the newly appointed chairperson, is very clear that it's a Hindu institution and there is no reason for a non-Hindu to be working there because they would not have the same allegiance, and there is a matter of faith and matters that have to do with religion, and therefore this is not like any other kind of employment for these employees, and therefore they would be offered either the voluntary retirement service or they would be sent back to the state government. So politically speaking, the Telugu Desam as well as the BJP of course are in an alliance, and it's an NDA government that's in place in Andhra Pradesh, and the stand there is very clear. It is on the lines that the TTD board has spoken about. Even otherwise, there is the feeling in the larger Hindu community as well that there should not be non-Hindus serving there. The TTD chairperson, in fact, even mentioned that earlier there was this allegations of proselytization or many Christians also being present on the temple, and all that was something that the TTD wanted to take up as a cleanup operation. So that is one of the important decisions. The other important decision that the TTD board has taken is to move all their bank reserves, the money reserves that the TTD has. As you know, it's the richest such religious institution in the country or possibly in the world. They are going to move them from private banks to nationalized banks. How the kind of implications it will have for the private banks is something that we will need to wait and watch, but at least 5,000 crore rupees is the sum that we are talking about. Another kind of cleanup that he's talking about is 7 lakh tons of debris that he says has accumulated in the TTD Tirumala Hills, and that is something that the new board wants to take up as an operation cleanup of the hills, because he says with huge numbers of pilgrims coming in, the earlier government or the board had not paid attention to clean up of the Tirumala Hills, and therefore they are going to take that up. And the fourth one is on a very important scam that was alleged in the previous government called a Srivani scam, and he's now said that that is going to be revised, and using artificial intelligence technology, they're going to bring down the waiting time for darshan also from about 30 hours to 2 to 3 hours for the pilgrims. Back to you.
Thank you so much for joining us with all those details, Uma. Moving on now to the national capital, where toxic air continues, ladies and gentlemen. There has been no relief. You may see the sun out today, but the air quality is still over 500 at many places in the national capital. Delhi is breathing severely toxic air. Schools, colleges have gone offline and have gone online, and the politics as Delhi chokes continues once again. Aam Aadmi Party has said that the centre is allowing farm fires. Why is the centre mum on pollution? They are questioning that the union environment minister so far has not made a single statement on this deteriorating situation, just not in the national capital, but in the entire North India region. Meanwhile, the BJP has accused the Delhi government by saying that most of the farm fires, which are polluting Delhi, are coming in from Punjab. The BJP is distributing masks to the people as a mark of protest. Now, the national capital, remember, is continuing to be a gas chamber, and after the Supreme Court yesterday came down heavily on the Delhi government and the Pollution Control Board, the schools were shifted to online mode. All schools, from classes nursery to class 12 now are online mode, and at this moment it's just not the national capital but the NCR region where the classes have been put online till the next decision is taken. Even the Delhi University has is holding the classes online till November 23rd.
I'm right now at the construction site of Dwarka underpass. We know Dwarka sector 8 is one of the pollution hotspots in the national capital. You can see right here the construction work is going on despite the graded response action plan stage 4 implementation, where there is complete ban on all sorts of construction as well as demolition activities. But here the laborers are of the opinion that they haven't been instructed or given any circular stating a ban on the construction एक्टिविटी. सर, आप मुझे बताइए कि ये अभी क्रेन चल रहा है, काम चल रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है फुल टाइम, राइट?
नहीं चल रहा है काम, तो मैनुअली काम चल रहा है, क्रेन से कुछ नहीं चल रहा है.
और मैनुअली तो काम तो चलाना भी होगा, क्योंकि नहीं तो इन लोगों को पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे.
हाँ, पैसे नहीं मिले. बंगाल से, यूपी से, जो भी झारखंड से, जो भी चारों ओर से लेबर आए हैं सब, इसीलिए चल रहा है काम. वो मैनुअली चल रहा है मैडम, ऐसे नहीं चल रहा है.
और सर, हर साल हम देखते हैं कि पोल्यूशन के वजह से कंस्ट्रक्शन बंद कर देते हैं. उसके वजह से जो लेबरर्स आते हैं, आप जैसे बोल रहे हो बंगाल से, बिहार से, तो उन लोग को पैसा कौन देता है?
मैडम, ठेकेदार देता है, कंपनी देती है पैसा. जो 1-2 दिन 3 दिन बैठते हैं उनका देता है, कंपनी देती है.
कॉम्पेंसेशन मिल जाता है?
हाँ, देती है मैडम. 8 घंटे की जो भी आता है दिहाड़ी वो देती है कंपनी.
बट अभी जैसे हम देख सकते हैं पूरा ऐसे स्मॉग आ गया है, पोल्यूशन लेवल बढ़ता ही जा रहा है, कोई इधर मास्क नहीं पहना है, काम भी चल रहा है. आपको नहीं लगता ये लोगों पे बुरा असर हो रहा है?
ये तो गलत है महम, मगर कोई अभी थोड़ा ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं दे रहा है, मगर अब ध्यान देगा अभी.
और सर, कंपनी से कुछ ऐसे सर्कुलर ऐसा कुछ आया है कि काम बंद कर?
हाँ, कंपनी बोली है कि बंद कर दो. कंपनी से आदेश आया है कि काम बंद कर देना है. मगर हम लोग लेबर लाए हैं, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं, तो काम चलाना पड़ेगा. उन लोगों को कैसे पैसा दिया जाएगा, कहाँ से दिया जाएगा?
ये सब क्या बन रहा है एग्जैक्टली?
ये द्वारिका एक्सप्रेसवे बन रहा है अंडरपास में.
कब से बन रहा है
ये? मैडम, हमारे ख्याल से 2019 की 20 से बन रहा है.
Meanwhile, the government of Delhi is, in fact, Delhi minister has written to the Union Environment Minister over clearances for artificial rain. In fact, the Delhi government is pushing for artificial rain. The chief minister yesterday had gone on to say that they are ready to bear the cost of artificial rain, which will bring relief. Now, in fact, this cloud seeding, Gopal Rai says, will reduce pollution and help citizens, and but the clearance is needed from the DGCA, the MHA, Defence Ministry and other agencies. The Delhi Health Minister has requested the Union Environment Minister to convene stakeholder meeting immediately and help Delhi government get NOCs and clearances. Gopal Rai has said that the BJP government deliberately is ignoring North India's health crisis. Now, in the letter, he said that Delhi can't get relief from pollution unless we break the thick layer of smog. Smog can either be broken by wind or by rain. Aam Aadmi Party is ready to bear the cost of the artificial rainfall in the national capital. The minister, in fact, has alleged apathy by the central government towards Delhi, and has said that this is disheartening and disturbing. Maybe if I had written to Environment Minister of any other nation, he would have given time to meet me sooner than our own union government. Some harsh words being there used by the government of Delhi when they are trying to in fact invoke the union government to step in and give them clearances for artificial rainfall. So as Delhi continues to choke the heavy blanket of smog that you see around yourself, the pollution air quality index, ladies and gentlemen, very, very poor. In fact, in the severe category, if I'm not mistaken. And, let me just check, in fact, what is the air quality at this moment in the national capital. It's over 400 at this moment in the national capital. That's the average that we are talking about. Many places, in fact, in Delhi, the average air quality is 500, which is in the severe level. Moving on to Uttar Pradesh, where the Samajwadi Party has attacked the BJP, and the blame game ahead of the crucial, by-elections on the 9 assembly seats of Uttar Pradesh continue. Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister has called Samajwadi Party's letter misleading and has said that we follow poll panel rules. Remember, the Samajwadi Party had written to Election Commission, urging Election Commission to issue written warrants, a written order that no police men should check voter ID of voters. Muslim women were asked to leave because of wheels in the Lok Sabha elections, and Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister has now rejected these assertions of the Samajwadi Party. Let me bring in my colleague Aishwarya, who is joining us with more details at this moment. Aishwarya, what Akhilesh Yadav and the Samajwadi Party is saying is something that we also saw when we were reporting in Uttar Pradesh, where women in wheel especially had that problem. Now, was there any corrective measure done? Is the Election Commission taking cognizance of this?
Well, there has been claims and counterclaims both by the Uttar Pradesh Samajwadi Party and Bharatiya Janata Party. Of course, the letter that had been written by Uttar Pradesh Samajwadi Party Chief Shyamlal Pal clearly states, and he alleges that during the 2014 Lok Sabha polls as well, there were several instances, just not in one or two constituencies, but in several constituencies, where specifically Samajwadi Party Muslim workers and Muslim women supporters were sent back because of the reason that the police personals were checking their vein. On the other side, it was also alleged that it is only the duty of the polling officer, according to the ECI handbook, that they can check the identity card or the identity of any individual, be it women or be it the male voter. Perhaps just out of the 9 by-polls in Uttar Pradesh, now Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh had stated that all the protocols are being followed, the rules and regulations are being followed duly. There had no instance that had been alleged by the Uttar Pradesh Samajwadi Party chief in his letter to the Chief Election Officer of the Uttar Pradesh state, and there had been due guidelines which are followed. Police personals do not check it, polling officers check it, and that's the clarification that has come in from the Bharatiya Janata Party side as well. But yes, Akhilesh Yadav in the past and now Uttar Pradesh Party, Samajwadi Party Chief Shyamlal Pal repeating that allegations that this should not happen, and the request that had been made to the Chief Election Officer of Uttar Pradesh is that there should be a written document, there should be a written order from the side of Election Commission that this should not happen in the upcoming by-polls of Uttar Pradesh.
Thank you so much for joining us with all those details, Aishwarya, at this moment. Let's moving on to the Madras High Court order which has restrained the Hindu from presenting the Sangeeta Kalanidhi Award in the name of MS Subbalakshmi to musician T.M. Krishna. The court has said the Sangeeta Kalanidhi Award and cash prize can be granted to T.M. Krishna but not in the name of MS Subbalakshmi. The court was hearing a plea moved by Subbalakshmi's grandson Srinivasan challenging an award conferred to Krishna in her name. Srinivasan's main contention was that the award cannot be given to someone who had constantly criticized his grandmother. He pointed out to various instances of Krishna's apparent criticism of Subbalakshmi, quoting the latter's write-up that appeared in The Caravan and the Wire, a speech he made in Hyderabad in 2016. T.M. Krishna, however, vehemently denied belittling the legend and added his remarks were taken out of context by Srinivasan.
Initially, they alleged that T.M. Krishna had made comments trivializing the achievements of the late legendary singer M.S. Subbalakshmi. But this particular order comes on the basis of her citing a will written by M.S. Subbalakshmi herself, in which she has clearly said that there shall be no institution of anything in her honor, which could include awards or any foundations in her name. It's on that basis the Madras High Court has today ruled that the Music Academy in Chennai can give the award to T.M. Krishna, but it cannot be in the name of M.S. Subbalakshmi. The award itself is called the Sangeet Kalanidhi Award in the name of M.S. Subbalakshmi, and it's in this context the court has said no in her name. But T.M. Krishna has denied these allegations, saying that his comments have been taken out of context. Earlier this year also, soon after the Music Academy had announced the choice of its candidate for this particular award this year to be given during the music season in December, a few renowned Carnatic artists had raised objection and had even said they would never perform again at the Music Academy. And the Music Academy, in a response, had said this award, he was chosen on the basis of a recommendation by an exclusive committee constituted for this purpose. And it's in this context we have to see this. But many also point out that Srinivasan, the grandson of M.S. Subbalakshmi, has not raised similar objections for, there are many other institutions or awards in the name of M.S. Subbalakshmi, and he has been quite selective, hinting that it's in a specific reference to T.M. Krishna, this objection has been legally presented, and now the court has given this particular order not to give any award in the name of Subbalakshmi.
Right. Thank you, Sam, for joining us with all those details. With that, we're slipping into a short break. News and updates continue here on NDTV. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India Century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
करप्शन फर्स्ट आमचा अजेंडा आहे नेशन फर्स्ट
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत पण का भरत नाही राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं
The last elections of 2024, it's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Can the big brother BJP manage the competing ambitions of Mahayuti? Can the Red Book rally the voters once again for Congress and its allies? So as Maharashtra's future trajectory takes shape, we report from the ground.
Two visions, two ideology, one verdict. An election where no caste chemistry can yield a perfect formula.
It's a state that is splintered with power battles. The big question, will Maharashtra poll outcome unify parties or divide them further? And who will emerge as Maharashtra's undisputed leader?
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever.
Very good afternoon. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Vadva. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including the Supreme Court that has laid down now stringent guidelines while banning ragging in educational institutions with zero tolerance to the initiation as far as a ritual is concerned. You know, this is a ritual that the students think is the norm, yet ragging of freshers that often entails humiliation, abuse, as well as resulting in profound physical and psychological scars, has continued to cast a long shadow. The death of this is the first-year student of a Gujarat-based medical college after he was allegedly made to stand for 3 hours underscores the severity of the issue. 15 seniors have now been suspended and booked after the 18-year-old medical student died in a suspected ragging case at his medical college.
This incident took place in a medical college located in Patan, which is 6 kilometers away from the Patan city, where in a medical college, the second-year students, they put out a message on a WhatsApp group calling a few of their juniors, as many as 10 to 11 juniors, for an introduction. And when they were there, they were made to dance, they were made to sing. And after several hours of, this particular sort of ragging that went on, some of these students were made to stand out, for long hours. This particular individual that we are talking about, Atul Patel, he was standing outside the room for close to 3 to 4 hours, and as it was an add-on to all the humiliation that he had faced already, eventually he collapsed, and then he was immediately taken to the hospital close by, where he was declared dead. Now, the college authorities here have been very prompt as they filed a complaint regarding the same, and they've also made sure that the academic activities of all the 15 students who are involved, in ragging have been suspended. Besides that, they've also interrogated the rest of the 10 students as well, who were the victims of this ragging. Yesterday, we saw that throughout the day, the interrogation of the 15 accused and the 11 victims and the 10 victims went on throughout the day. And today, we are expecting the accused to be presented in the Patan court at around 4 to 5 in the afternoon or before that. That is the major detail, that is a major update coming from there. The police would be asking, the local authorities would be demanding for as strict action as possible in this particular case. But then questions will also be asked to the MBBS college where this particular incident took place, even though they were very prompt to react. The student in question here scored really good marks before qualifying for this particular college, and he comes from a family of farmers, which has seen a sort of an atmosphere, a very ugly atmosphere being created in the entire Patan region of Gujarat.
Right, thank you, Anush, for getting us all those details. And switching tracks now to Himachal Pradesh, and the court has now ordered the attachment and potential auction of Himachal Bhavan here in New Delhi near Mandi House. This is due to unpaid dues. We're talking about power dues which have remained unpaid to the tune of 64 crore rupees. That along with interest is now amounting to 150 crore rupees. So the Himachal Pradesh government has failed to clear those power dues under the leadership of the then Congress party, and has allowed the sale of the Himachal Bhavan, and it is the BJP that has hit out at the Congress party for its poor policies that now they say have been finally exposed. Now, the power department has attached the Himachal Bhavan, which is used as a guest house, and it is the Himachal Bhavan which is of prime importance as far as the state is concerned. The High Court has allowed the power department to attach that Bhavan, and has also, it is perhaps potentially going to be auctioned, with the BJP fuming over the Congress government as far as Himachal Pradesh is concerned, saying that this is quite an unprecedented situation and the Congress government has failed completely.
सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हाई कोर्ट का फैसला 13 जनवरी 2023 को आया और उसके बावजूद भी सरकार जो है वो गंभीरता से इसको नहीं ले रही है। ये जो सेली प्रोजेक्ट का अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम का जो पैसा 64 करोड़ रुपए देने के लिए आदेश हुए थे, मुझे लगता है कि जो हिमाचल प्रदेश की सरकार सारे विषयों को बहुत गंभीरता से नहीं ले रही है। ऐसी स्थिति हिमाचल प्रदेश की आज से पहले कभी नहीं आई। पहली बात, कोर्ट के मामलों को भी सरकार गंभीरता से नहीं ले रही है, और एक के बाद एक फैसले जो हिमाचल प्रदेश में जो हो रहे हैं, जिसके कारण सरकार की फजीहत होती जा रही है।
कोई बड़ा नहीं है, लेकिन अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम जो है वो एक पॉलिसी के तहत है, और एक पॉलिसी के तहत 2006 में जब ऊर्जा नीति बनी थी, तो उसमें उस ऊर्जा नीति में मैं भी मेन आर्किटेक्ट था, मैडम स्टोक्स उस समय ऊर्जा मिनिस्टर थे। तो अपफ्रंट प्रीमियम ये था कि कोई भी पावर प्रोजेक्ट लग जाए, लगे या ना लगे, उस पॉलिसी में क्लियर है। हमने एक रिजर्व प्राइस पर मेगावाट जैसे 10 लाख रिजर्व प्राइस रखा था, उस अपफ्रंट के मामले में आर्बिट्रेशन से कोई फैसला आया, उसके खिलाफ हाई कोर्ट हमारी सरकार गई, और सरकार ने उसमें जो 64 करोड़ रुपए आर्बिट्रेशन का था वो जमा कराना था। उसके बारे में मैंने अभी जानकारी प्राप्त की है।
Our main focus is on the national capital's toxic air that one is breathing for days on end. Now we're talking about 7 days of highly toxic and very dangerous levels of pollutants which remain suspended in the air. As far as visibility levels are concerned, there's been a slight improvement. You can see that the sun is trying to trickle in. However, the visibility levels have remained to be an issue even today. We're talking about 999 points of the AQI being recorded in certain areas of the national capital. In Greater Noida, the pollution count over 100 points and no respite in sight, which is what is being said. It is the Aam Aadmi Party asking the centre as far as why the centre is keeping mum as far as the pollution crisis is concerned. The BJP hitting back at the Delhi government in regard to the farm fires in the state of Punjab. The BJP there, taking to the streets of Delhi in protest and also continuing to distribute the masks to the citizens of the national capital, hitting out at the Aam Aadmi Party for its inaction and for dragging its feet in order to curb this perennial problem, talking about why no steps have been taken in order to ensure that the situation changes at least this time around. Of course, it is the Aam Aadmi Party who has gone on to say that there is literally no respite in sight, because the only solution to this problem could come in the form of rain, which is not expected at least over the next 7 days, and which is why they're saying that they have tried to take measures on the ground, but as far as the skies are concerned, only rain can help solve this problem, which is why they are proposing artificial rain, and for which they're asking the centre for an emergency meeting.
I'm right now at the construction site of a Dwarka underpass. We know Dwarka Sector 8 is one of the pollution hotspots in the national capital. You can see right here the construction work is going on despite the Graded Response Action Plan Stage 4 implementation, where there is complete ban on all sorts of construction as well as demolition activities. But here the labourers are of the opinion that they haven't been instructed or given any circular stating a ban on the construction एक्टिविटी. सर, आप मुझे बताइए कि ये अभी क्रेन चल रहा है, काम चल रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है फुल टाइम, राइट?
नहीं चल रहा है काम, तो मैनुअली काम चल रहा है, क्रेन वेन से कुछ नहीं चल रहा है.
और मैनुअली तो काम तो चलाना भी होगा, क्योंकि नहीं तो इन लोग को पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे.
हाँ, पैसे नहीं मिले. बंगाल से, यूपी से, जो भी झारखंड से, जो भी चारों ओर से लेबर आए हैं सब, इसीलिए चल रहा है काम. वो मैनुअली चल रहा है मैडम, ऐसे नहीं चल रहा है.
और सर, हर साल हम देखते हैं कि पोल्यूशन के वजह से कंस्ट्रक्शन बंद कर देते हैं. उसके वजह से जो लेबरर्स आते हैं, आप जैसे बोल रहे हो बंगाल से, बिहार से, तो उन लोग को पैसा कौन देता है?
मैडम, ठेकेदार देता है, कंपनी देती है पैसा. जो 1-2 दिन 3 दिन बैठते हैं उनका देता है, कंपनी देती है.
कॉम्पेंसेशन मिल जाता है?
हाँ, देती है मैडम. 8 घंटे की जो भी आता है दिहाड़ी वो देती है कंपनी.
बट अभी जैसे हम देख सकते हैं पूरा ऐसे स्मॉग आ गया है, पोल्यूशन लेवल बढ़ता ही जा रहा है, कोई इधर मास्क नहीं पहना है, काम भी चल रहा है. आपको नहीं लगता ये लोगों पे बुरा असर हो रहा है?
ये तो गलत है मैम, मगर कोई अभी थोड़ा ज़्यादा ध्यान नहीं दे रहा है, मगर अब ध्यान देगा अभी.
और सर, कंपनी से कुछ ऐसे सर्कुलर ऐसा कुछ आया है कि काम बंद कर?
हाँ, कंपनी बोली है कि बंद कर दो. कंपनी से आदेश आया है कि काम बंद कर देना है. मगर हम लोग लेबर लाए हैं, कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं, तो काम चलाना पड़ेगा. उन लोगों को कैसे पैसा दिया जाएगा, कहाँ से दिया जाएगा?
ये सब क्या बन रहा है एग्जैक्टली?
ये द्वारिका एक्सप्रेसवे बन रहा है अंडरपास से मैम.
कब से बन रहा है
ये? मैडम, हमारे ख्याल से 2019 की 20 से बन रहा है.
तो दिल्ली सरकार है वो लगातार सेंट्रल पर ब्लेम कर रही है, कह रही है वो जॉइंट एक्शन प्लान लेके नहीं.
दिल्ली में सांसों का आपातकाल है. वो जो सेंटर को ब्लेम कर रहे हैं उनसे पूछना चाहिए कि आज पराली का, आज 19 तारीख है, कल पराली का स्कोर क्या था. जो सरकारी आंकड़े हैं, अकेले पंजाब में 1251 घटनाएं रजिस्टर्ड हुई हैं. और क्या कारण है? यूपी में 133 और हरियाणा में 38 थी. तो कौन दोषी है उसका? लेकिन पंजाब की वो बात नहीं करेंगी. अपने नकारेपन, अपने निकम्मेपन को छुपाने के लिए अरविंद केजरीवाल और आतिशी मार लेना, दूसरी इधर उधर की बातें करती हैं. ये तो दिल्ली को इस हालत में लाने का जिम्मेदार अरविंद केजरीवाल है, उनकी सरकार है, जिन्होंने दिल्ली में सड़कों की मरम्मत नहीं की, गड्ढे नहीं भरे, जिसकी वजह से धूल के कारण दिल्ली में और सफाई व्यवस्था ना होने के कारण दिल्ली की हालत है.
सर, मेरा आखिरी सवाल ये है कि ग्रेडेड रिस्पांस एक्शन प्लान का जो चौथा स्टेज है वो अब लागू हो गया, लेकिन फिर भी लगातार देख रहे हैं कि AQI और खराब ही होते जा रहा है. सरकार को क्या कहना?
मैं फिर कह रहा हूँ कि अगर आपने 10 साल में मेजरमेंट लिए होते, अगर आपने 10 साल काम किए थे, तो आज आपको ये झूठ नहीं बोलना पड़ता. दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल के सरकार का नकारापन है, जिसकी वजह से ये खामियाजा दिल्ली की जनता भुगत रही है. और ये मास्क जो है, ये मास्क आने वाले समय में दिल्ली वालों के लिए चेतावनी है. अगर इस भ्रष्ट सरकार को यहाँ से नहीं हटाया तो हर दिल्ली वाले को ये मास्क पहनने पड़ेंगे.
सर, लगातार जो है दिल्ली में प्रदूषण बेहद गंभीर स्थिति में है, तो अब क्या स्टेप्स जो है दिल्ली सरकार द्वारा लिए जाएंगे?
पहली बात तो ये दिल्ली में नहीं है
जी,
पूरे उत्तर भारत में है. हरियाणा में है, उत्तर प्रदेश में है, मध्य प्रदेश में है, राजस्थान में है. पूरा उत्तर भारत इस समय प्रदूषण की चपेट में है. और जब आधा देश का हिस्सा प्रदूषण की चपेट में है, दिल्ली सरकार काम कर रही है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सभी सरकारें सो रही हैं। ऐसी स्थिति जब सबको सक्रियता से काम करने की जरूरत है, आज पूरी भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार सो रही है, इससे बड़ा दुखद और कुछ नहीं हो सकता है। आज जो प्रदूषण की स्थिति बनी है दिल्ली के अंदर, हम काम लगातार कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो एक्सपर्ट्स का कहना है कि एक स्मॉग की चादर अब आसमान में दिख रही है और वो प्रदूषण के स्तर को लगातार बढ़ा रही है, क्योंकि जो प्रदूषण के कण हैं वो वायुमंडल में डिस्पर्स नहीं हो रहे हैं, उसको तोड़ने की ज़रूरत है। एक्सपर्ट्स की जो ओपिनियन है कि या तो हवा से टूट सकती है तेज या बारिश से। आर्टिफिशियल रेन के लिए पिछली बार ही हमने आईआईटी कानपुर के साथ पहल शुरू की थी। उनका कहना था कि इसके लिए सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की कई सारी परमिशंस चाहिए, इसीलिए इस बार अगस्त के महीने से ही हमने केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री जी को चिट्ठियां लिखनी शुरू की कि भाई एक इमरजेंसी मीटिंग बुला लीजिए, एक मीटिंग बुला लीजिए, जो परमिशंस की ज़रूरत है उसको पूरा किया जाए, और अगर इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन बनती है तो लोगों को इस प्रदूषण की मार से बचाई जा सके।
Gopal Rai there saying that he has written to the Union Environment Ministry on multiple occasions, but no response has come about from the centre. And of course, he has been talking about artificial rain for a very long time now and is asking for that permission and for that emergency meeting regarding the same. Moving on now, unemployment rate has declined to 6.4%. We're talking about the urban unemployment rate with a sharp decline as far as women unemployment is concerned. So the urban unemployment rate is down to 6.4% in the last quarter between July to September, compared to 6.6% in the previous quarter, according to the government. This is the lowest unemployment rate recorded in the recent past. My colleague Sakshi has the details.
What is a positive indicator for India's economy? The urban unemployment rate in the September quarter has declined to a fresh low of 6.4%. This is due to a sharper dip in unemployment rate for women, according to the quarterly periodic labour force survey. The unemployment rate for young women has declined at a faster pace than the rate for young men during the quarter, as per the study conducted. And interesting to note here that the share of self-employed men have declined, while the share of self-employed women has risen as per this survey. The share of salaried workers has also increased to 49.4%, while the share of casual workers has declined to 10.7% during the quarter. While traditionally economists have considered salaried employment as a better form of employment, remember we are living in an era of entrepreneurship and enhanced startup culture that is driving India's economic momentum and is now reflective in such surveys as well.
And in other news, the Ministry of Information Technology, Government of India is working on a code of conduct for companies working with artificial intelligence in India. Let's listen in to what is being said by S. Krishnan, the Secretary of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology.
Another, staying on legislations, we have the AI guidelines that MeitY is now working on. Now, from what I understand, this is supposed to be a voluntary ethics code, right?
No, I mean, you see, there are multiple things here. I think one part of it, AI raises a number of concerns, right? There is a concern regarding how data gets used, how copyright gets adhered to, and so on. We believe that the DPTP Act and the rules thereunder will take care of the concerns relating to how personal data is used in the context of AI, with consent and so on. Likewise, as far as publication and copyright rules are concerned, the existing laws more or less tackle those issues. That is the case across the world as well. Then there are certain, so these are one set of concerns. Then there are certain concerns around misrepresentation and fake news and so on. Our belief is that having used the existing legal framework, even during the May 24 election period, we believe that it has a fair amount of robustness and strength to deal with fake news. I think the crucial thing here is that fake news, misrepresentation is something that was happening even before this new legislation or before AI came in, right? The only thing is the sophistication and the technological upgradation which has taken place in the way that misrepresentation is produced or deep fakes are produced has changed. And it takes a little more effort to identify whether something is a fake. So the important thing then is to sort of see how we can act under existing regulations. And we believe to a significant extent the present IT Act provisions relating to Internet Intermediary Guidelines of 2021 more or less cover many of the areas of concern as far as deepfakes and misrepresentation is concerned, and we've been able to use those provisions with a fair degree of effort. Now, a voluntary code is something which we believe could initially help in terms of striking a balance between the areas where